What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? This is Ray from Alluring Serpents, and you're now tuned into. Oh, snap. I had the YouTube thing on so you can hear that. Okay, let's start again. Okay, I'm Ray, guys, and I'm from Alluring Serpents, and you're watching my favorite reptile podcast. If this is not your first time here, thank you very much for coming back. You already know, lots of love, and I appreciate you guys for being so supportive. To everybody that's sharing it and sending me messages and great show, happy you started the show, all these comments, like salute to you guys. That's why I'm doing it for you guys. Um, this is so that we can learn together, grow together, and succeed together. So that's what I want to say to you guys that have been here before. If you're new here, this is a reptile podcast where we talk about business and good practices that lead to a successful business in the reptile industry. If it's something that maybe um, has crossed your mind where you want to take it more serious, this is definitely where you want to be. A lot of tips and tricks and a lot of knowledge being shared. So maybe get a pen and a notepad and take some notes. Or you could come back and watch the replay. That's fine too. So before we get started, I got a few things that I want to do. First and foremost, shout out to my daughter, Aaliyah. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, baby. I love you very much. You're growing into an amazing young woman, and you are a great mom, and you're a wonderful daughter. And I just want to say God bless you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Yeah, so that's great. She's the one that I'm a grandpa because of her. It's awesome. I love it. Another thing we're gonna do is Dragon, Pat from Dragon Soul, had a clutch of champagne babies, and all the proceed, everything, all the animals that he sells from that clutch, the money's gonna go to U.S. Ark. So I wanted to showcase that, and you can find these on MorphMarket. But I'm gonna pull up each one real quick just so you can have a glance at what he has available. Again, anything you purchase, all the money is going to be going to US Arc. So that's super important that we support them. And Pat is doing a great job. And salute to you, bro, for doing this. So here goes, I think it's 5 animals. Let's see. So we got a firehead clown female. Very bright, very beautiful. Got a champagne firehead clown female. Look at the ringer on that. Full animal. Got a champagne head clown. Another champagne firehead clown. All females. Yo, this guy killed the odds on this clutch. All females. Some guys got all the luck, right? And last but not least, a fire black pastel het clown. So all these females are available. Go check out Dragon Soul on MorphMarket. He has them posted there. You can hit him up and he will respond back to you. All the money from this clutch is going to be going to US Arc, so definitely want to jump on that. And help a good cause because we need them right now. There's a lot of stuff going on, which I won't get into right now. But if you're paying attention, you already know what's going on. Also, at the end of the show, we usually do a giveaway. I usually give away a T-shirt, which is this T-shirt right here, my favorite reptile podcast T-shirt with the Alluring Serpents on the back, plus a little extra stuff on top, which you will see when you get the T-shirt. On top of me giving away this T-shirt, Justin from Stone Age Ball Pythons is going to be giving away $100 store credit. So that's super dope. Make sure you're here for that. And also, Justin from Morph Jungle, our guest, is also going to be doing a $100 store credit giveaway at the end of the show with us. So that's super awesome. Appreciate you, Justin. And appreciate you, Justin. What else we got going on? All right. Let's give a shout out to some people in the chat real quick, and then we will get this ball rolling because you're definitely not here for me. You're here for Justin. So let's see what we got. Blue Balls. Yo, what's up, bro? Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. More Valley. You already know what it is. Yo, it's Ryan, but on MorphMarket is James. So when I sent you that T-shirt, I wrote James. It is what it is. But yo, appreciate you being here, big dog. Thank you very much. Eric's Morph Factory. What up, what up, what up? What up, Ray and Justin? Let's go. Joey effing D. Friday starts now. Yes, it does, good sir. Appreciate that. Thank you for being here. My son, Ray, appreciate you being here. You already know, love you. Hyperspace, Chad, thank you for being here. Appreciate you, big dog. Ring Reptiles, Matt, what is going on? Actually, yo, guys, Ring Reptiles, next episode next week on Friday. So make sure you tune in for that one. Matt is super cool, working some awesome projects. Good dude, ton of knowledge. It's going to be a good show. Alex M, what's up? What's up? What's up? Lady T, what's going on? My sister, make sure you guys check her out. Reptiles and Cocktails, Saturday at 1 p.m. and then 8 a.m., 2 P's in a podcast with the homie Dre at 8 a.m. Eastern on Lady T's Exotics YouTube channel. Check that out. Let's see who else we got here. Mary Beth, appreciate you being here. Mary Beth Stefano, what up? What up? Brian, what's going on? Great show. Mike from Herp Collectors. If you didn't see that, go back and catch the replay. Brian was on there talking with Mike, Herp Collectors YouTube channel. Make sure you go back and check that out. Nico, what's popping? My brother, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. You got to come by and get this rodent food, dog. There he is, the villain himself, Villarino. Let's go. Yo, go check out my boy on Instagram, yo. Give him a follow. He's got an awesome mentorship program going on through the Instagram subscriptions, the V Unit, which are in the house right now. And appreciate all you guys for being here. Appreciate the love. Thank you very much. Tommy, Inky Clouds. Hey, Ray. What's going on, young lady? Thank you for being here. Bosa Balls, the ambassador. Thank you for being here, bro. Brock, don't get fired. Listening to the show, big dog. You can always catch the replay. But I appreciate you being here. Love you. Don't tell my boss. Yeah, I don't think your boss is gonna be watching this. Let's see, Celtic Reptiles. What's going on, guys? Angie and Jeff. Appreciate you guys for being here. Leland, what's popping? Appreciate you being here, big dog. Who else we got? Just run through a couple more and then we'll get it started, guys. Pressure Pythons. What's up? There she is, last week's winner, Mitzi Ann. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Kaju, Dylan, what's going on, man? What's going on? Probably not going to be talking about desert today or caramel albino. I'm sorry to let you down, but you're going to have some good info, so stay tuned. There he goes. Yo, Keys Constrictors. Check us out tonight on Keys Constrictors YouTube channel. We do Hair Down Friday right after this show. Starts at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, where we all just kick it. And it's basically like a group of us, and we're all hanging out. We're talking reptiles. We're talking snakes. We're showing off snakes. We always have new people jumping on with us. Maybe Justin will be able to stop by. Maybe he won't. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but we'll see. I know he definitely got some heat that he can show off if he wants, but we'll see how that goes. All right. Locked and loaded ball pythons. What up? So listen, guys, if you're new here, hit that subscription button and that notification bell so you don't never miss a live again. And make sure you hit the like button, please. And if you're tuned in after the live and you're watching the replay, gratitude for comments. Leave some comments, and that would be helpful to us. I think it helps the algorithm get it out there more when there's more comments in there. So, I'm not too social media savvy, so maybe I'm telling the truth. Maybe I'm not telling the truth. I'm not sure. Did I say pressure pythons already? I don't know. The rant on desert. Yeah, no, we're probably not going to get into that, but it's all good. All right, guys. So once again, thank you for being here. I appreciate you very much. I'm going to kick that intro video, and we will be right back with the man, the myth, the legend. There it is. What's up?
Everybody? How's it going, man?
Dog. Doing good, man. Super excited to have you here, bro.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yo, thank you for taking the time out to spend this night with me or this evening. Yeah, I don't know. What are we calling it? Night, evening?
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. So everybody knows the business name Everybody knows the booth at the shows. Everybody knows the Morph Market and the amazing animals that they see there. And tonight, you guys are going to get the opportunity to know Justin on a more personal level, which I think is super awesome, man. I think you're
It's nothing
fucking,
for sure.
yeah, I think you're fucking cool, man. And people deserve to know that you're awesome and get to know more about you.
I appreciate it, man. I'm excited to
Yeah.
be here. This is gonna be a good time.
Yeah. Yo, it's your first podcast, bro.
It is my first podcast. I mean, I gotta admit, I'm a little nervous, but hey, it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna have fun, and hopefully, you guys, get to learn some
Yeah.
things.
Absolutely, man. I mean, shit, I'm still nervous. This is my fourth episode already. I mean, I already stumbled at the beginning. I had to make fun of myself. It is what it is, man. We laugh at ourselves and we keep it moving, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. So yo, for the people that don't know who you are, let's get into just some basic stuff. So, your name, what species you're working with, what's your business name?
So my name's Justin Weinerch. I'm 24 years old. I, specialize in ball pythons, and obviously, my business is Morph Jungle. So, well, actually, know what's on this side. Oh,
Yeah,
it's a little backwards there. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, man. You got to get used to it, man. Like on here.
Yeah, I know. I'm not like at all. I was like, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, we do we do like a shout out the sponsor thing, and everyone always goes this way when really they're supposed to go this way.
Yeah.
It's hysterical. Yeah. And when you're showing off animals, and everyone's like,
yeah, no, it's like whoa.
Yeah, yeah, that is a nice shirt, Keys. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that, Keys Constructors. Let's go. Um, so yo, you're super young, man, and that's obvious. I think everybody knows you're super young. You're 24 years old. They see you everywhere. Can you just give us like a little background of like how you got into these reptiles? How long ago was it? You know, what does the beginning of Justin into the reptiles look like?
So I would say, I mean, obviously, being a kid years old, I would say, I mean, obviously, my dad had a lot to do with it. And starting probably back when I was like 2 years old, I got my first snake. Actually, I believe it was a boa. I was infatuated with Steve Irwin, so I wanted to be the crocodile hunter. I was one of those kids, I'd like for Halloween, I would dress up as him and all that. Catch lizards in the backyard, and I guess I would say like I had like a bunch of pets, beard dragons, leopard geckos, monitors, stuff like that. But the ball python thing, I think, really started, to like 2006-ish area. I actually went to our first Daytona show, and like I mean, compared to some back then, compared to how it is now, is completely different. I mean, you had all the big guys back then. You had, Kevin McCurley would go to those shows. Brian Barczyk. Guys like Ralph Davis, etc. All those, big time name guys that don't really do those kinds of shows anymore. Or like, that's what they did. And back then it was just, you had your basic stuff. You had like pastels, bumblebees, spiders, this is your basics, mostly single genes. Like you had pieds, but those were like such an unachievable price point at that time for most people. I think. I mean, I don't really remember. Like I said, I was like 7 years old, so I don't really, specifically remember the price. But I want to say probably $25,000-$30,000 back then for like, basic entry level, which I guess is entry level recessives now. It was just a completely different game back then. So it was honestly just one thing that led to another. Actually, the story itself, which is actually really got me interested in, I guess, like pursuing, breeding ball pythons was, well, obviously the different colors and patterns, stuff like that. But I remember specifically me and my dad went to a table and saw some European guy, whip out 50 grand in cash and just, say, all right, I want these little animals here. And I think he picked like 3 snakes or something like that back then, and just counted it out on the table. My dad was like, "Whoa, this is insane!" So he started. One thing led to another. It's like obviously I was really into the animals, really into the snakes, and really into the the genetics and breeding and stuff. He's like, why don't I invest a little bit of money? We get started here. Do something obviously fun, and hopefully make a little bit of money back. Because it wasn't necessarily about the money. It was just more so the wow factor of like, wow, this is insane.
So I mean, at the end of the day, I always say it like the goal is to do what you love and be successful doing it, so that you can take care of your family, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So your dad wasn't a breeder prior.
No, my dad's actually a financial advisor. Still is, actually owns his own firm, but it's completely unrelated.
Yeah, no, but that's cool, man. He was like, "Yo, I see the potential for it to be something successful. It's not just a hobby that you just pour money into like a money pit. You know, some
No,
people are
for
into
sure.
cars and they just dump money into cars and or
Yeah,
baseball. You know, like there's a lot of things that you can dump money into. But this does definitely have like a financial return. So there's
it
more
does.
incentive to not only do what you love, but to take care of your family. So how
Absolutely.
old were you? How old were you when you guys made that decision? Was it right away when you went to the show?
No, I would, because like I said, I think it was around. I mean, I don't think we. I don't. If I remember correctly, the snake, because the first snake I ever got. I mean, we got to collect some normals, but the first like genetic snake I got was they were all around the same time in 2006. So probably like I would say a couple months after that is I got a spider female back then, which actually I still have to this day, and it's got the
Nice.
worst wobble I've ever seen. But hey, it's a little. I mean, we didn't know better back then, but I remember we built. I think I had them in tanks beforehand, but then
Mhm.
obviously back then, like I mean, YouTube wasn't really the biggest thing, but like there's only a few guys ever doing like videos and stuff like that, and I think Ralph Davis being one of them.
Yep.
He was a big person to look up to, and a lot of guys built racks out of melamine back then,
Yep.
which is and so we built like later on we decided to build those racks out of melamine, and we started eventually keeping them in snake racks and stuff like that. So which
Nice,
is
man. Yeah, I
a big
remember when I first started researching and stuff, and I came across Brian Barczyk.
yeah.
Shout out to Brian, by the way. You know, I just remember seeing him in a hallway, bro, and it's just nothing but melamine
Oh yeah.
racks, and I'm like, what even is that? He's just pulling bins, and it's just snakes everywhere, and I'm like, yeah, I need something along those lines. That would be dope.
No, it's crazy for sure. I remember seeing those videos, the original Snake Bites videos and stuff like that. It was a different world back then.
Yeah, sure is, man. So you're 24. You've been in since you were like 7. So
Yeah.
technically, I mean, you're like an OG, bro. You're a young
Yeah,
OG.
man, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, you're pulling names out the hat from pioneers of the industry, bro, and that's fucking
Yeah.
cool, man. You know, a lot of people maybe see you and think, "Oh, who's this young kid that just got here?" Nah,
Yeah.
man, Justin's been here for a long time.
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy how much different is like, you know, like comparing it nowadays to back then is just night and day. Like I said, we had a bunch of it was really simple back then as far as breed. Pass cell to spider, make bumblebee. Okay, boom, done. Nowadays
Yeah,
you got all the recessives and double recessives and triple recessives and obviously all these codoms. It's like it's insane how much it's developed over the years.
yeah. Insane was gonna be the word that I use. It's fucking insane, bro. Like the amount of potential combos that are out there are endless. You know, shit. I'm 40, man, so I'm definitely not gonna see everything that all the potential. But even you're 24. You might not see all the full
No,
potential
probably
of
not.
the
I mean,
market.
I mean, I don't remember the exact number of different genes there are, like individual genes, but I'm sure it's into the high, probably hundreds now. I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think don't quote me on this, guys. Don't attack me if I'm wrong, okay? But I think it's like 200 and like high 200s or something like
Mhm.
that as far as the amount of genetics. And I think there's like 50 something recessives. Like, yo, we got a big fucking crayon box to play with colors,
That's
you
what
know?
I'm saying. There's tens of thousands of different possibilities. It's literally the possibilities are literally endless. It's just time.
Yeah, time and creativity, right? You got to be creative to stay
Yeah, for
relevant,
sure.
I think. Yeah. So when did let's fast forward just a little bit. When do you feel like you really started taking it as a business?
So I mean, I was one of those kids. I went to college at age 15, so obviously, I had to take a step back from it because it was always a hobby for me in the beginning. After I
Hmm.
graduated college when I was 19, and actually this was in 2018, and after that, because I wanted to be a veterinarian, I I decided, but the problem is that I would have to give up all the snakes. It's either to go to vet school, so it's either and my true passion was always been the snakes. Like obviously I like animals, but I want to be a vet. But the true passion was really the snakes. So I
Yeah.
decided to go against that, and I decided to really take this a lot more seriously. And in 2019, I actually partnered with a obviously a very old or not old, very old school, but a big OG in time, GHI Matt Lear from GHI Reptiles, which he was a really big mentor for me. And obviously he's the creator of GHI. He's the one that named it. Got to have it. So
Yeah.
and
And you do. You got to have it. That shit's
that's
dope.
it. And back 2019 on, it's been pretty much my full-time business. I mean, I did, I used to actually be a server for, a couple of years because that's what I was doing, throughout college and stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
I'd say 2 years ago, I do 100% snakes full-time. So,
Damn, that's phenomenal, man. That's goals right there, bro. So real quick before we move forward, you said you went to college at 15
yeah, I
and
got
you
my,
graduated at 19. So you're
yeah,
fucking
oh
you're
yeah, I got my
brilliant.
bachelor's degree in biology in 2018.
Damn,
So,
man. So you're super smart, bro. Salute to you, big dog.
yeah.
That's phenomenal. Great to hear, man.
I mean,
So
I don't know if I'm necessarily using the degree, but I mean, it's kind of related,
yeah, it's okay. You learn some
biology,
stuff.
snakes,
That's what I was gonna say. Biology is definitely relatable to any kind of
yeah,
species of animals. So I'm sure you can apply some of what you learned. Probably not all of it,
absolutely,
but yeah, you definitely have a good foundation of knowledge about biology and animals and
for
stuff like
sure.
that. So you got a mentorship, GHI guy, which is phenomenal. What was that like at the beginning of your adventure with him? Like, were you just helping him out? Did you, what does that look like?
Well, I guess we really built that, friendship. Obviously, I purchased quite a few animals from him. I'd go to, his house, buy a bunch of different stuff. That's how I got all my personal, original GHI stock was obviously all through him. And, he was a guy, because he's also a photographer. So he would go to Montana. He'd travel the world, take a picture. So when he was gone, there'd be times where he'd be like, "Hey, can you take care of the snakes?" I'd clean his collection, stuff like that. And then, he ended up having a personal obligation where he had to, move all the snakes out of where they were at his house, and he had some personal issues going on. And he came to me and was like, "Hey, do you want to be 50-50 partners in this?" And take things, take everything, and breed everything, and we'll just be 50-50 partners on it all. And obviously I was very gun ho for the opportunity. So
Hell yeah, man, that's a phenomenal opportunity. So it wasn't like, hey, I'm Justin, here's my resume, can I come over here and work? It was
no,
more of a friendship built, and it would
yeah, it was a friendship
gradually,
for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah,
I
gradually
mean, I
grew
always
into
had my
it.
own stuff too. It's not like I had nothing and got it. Like I had probably 100 of my own snakes at the time too. So
Yeah, yeah. So how many animals did you end up taking from him to take care of? Like how many? What does that look like?
probably, like, I want to say maybe 350, 400, roughly, maybe a little bit more than that.
How many did you have on your own prior to that?
I had around like 100, I think, too. Because my dad still has animals with it too. So in total it was 100. But me personally, probably like around like 60, 50,
Okay.
60.
So you're personally
So,
responsible for 60, and then you just like overnight had the
oh yeah,
responsibility of
no, I mean it was
400
crazy.
and
Yeah, because I have everything in our, obviously, I live with my parents. I had everything in the garage, and
yeah.
because my dad completely built out the garage, I had used to have a 600-gallon like shark tank in there. So I had like a big old shark tank. I had and the babies on one side and adults on the other side, and then obviously overnight I had to find a warehouse, completely renovate that, move all the snakes over there in a U-Haul. And that's what kind of everything started. It was a crazy adventure in the beginning for sure. It was definitely a little overwhelming at first, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say, man, I want to hear a little bit more about it. So you go to 400 plus animals after being responsible for 60. You said you get a warehouse, you bring all the snakes to the warehouse, you get yourself set up there. Everything melamine Rex, or was he already
no,
using
no,
like
this was
freedom readers?
he had a lot of no, it wasn't freedom. He had a lot of vision. I don't know if
Oh,
you know
okay.
what those are.
Yeah, I know what those are.
It's like the ones that have the heat cords and stuff. He had a lot of those. Which personally, I will say, I do not like those racks. They're not really my favorite. I don't really
Yeah,
trust the heat cord thing. It kind of bothers me a little bit, but
yeah.
it was all those pretty much. And um, I mean, I had some melamine racks, but I moved some stuff or PV not P mel. I didn't have melamine at this time anymore. I had PVC, so I had some
Okay.
PVC racks, and I moved everything over. So
So what does that look like? You know, how did you, what was the process to learn how to manage your time? Because now you got so many animals. Like, how much time does it take you to clean all those animals? Plus, you're working. Like,
it was definitely something. Because it was definitely a lot for sure. It's something I had to get used to.
yeah.
I
How
would be
long
in the
did it take you to kind of find your rhythm?
It definitely took me quite a few months for sure because it was definitely more than I was used to. I mean, granted, like I said before, I was taking care of his collection before, So I did have a little bit of like, I was starting to get used to it a little bit there. So I think that definitely helped me in the big transition. But I mean, probably, I mean, it wasn't too bad. It was, I mean, but I was there 7 days a week. So probably 4 hours a day, 7 days a week, roughly, probably a little bit more than that. Because I would have to, I worked at night too. So
Yeah. So, were you responsible for all like the pairings for everything as well, or did you guys work on that together?
completely everything. He was,
Oh,
he
yeah.
basically, he became a silent partner. So like I
Oh,
did
man.
literally everything. Like I ordered
So,
rodent, feeding, breedings, everything.
how was the like how did I'm trying to figure out the right way to word it. Like, you got so many animals, dude. Like, the pairing projects and all that stuff and trying to figure all that out. Like, did you have trouble with that? Did you have anybody helping you with that, or did you just take your time and like ease
Yeah, I
into it?
just kind of just took my time and like you know, obviously he gave me a little bit of ideas. Well, fortunately he was very good at his records, so like he kept record of all his breeding. So I kind of like followed, I kind of matched what he was kind of doing, but like did it
Right.
kind of my own way too. So like I'll change things up a little bit, but that helped me definitely a lot too. And obviously like I said, he mentoring me and teaching me, we on a grand scale, because obviously I was I was good at it for a smaller scale, so but doing it at a big scale, it's quite a bit different.
Yeah, it's two different worlds, right?
Yeah, I actually my first because I guess technically 2020 is really when I started getting clutches with his collection. I went from like max ever, I think, when I had did a hobby, like 20 clutches, to like I want to say I did either 92 or 94 my first year in 2020. So going from 20 to 94 is like, whoa. There was so many babies.
Were you getting like some people are like seasonal breeders, right? Where they'll get most of the clutches right around the same time, or are you more spread out?
I would say I'm pretty spread out. Like, I
Okay.
have some girls that, like currently, like right now, I only have 15 clutches. But, I'll get clutches from, you know, I think my first clutch I think was like in February, but usually I get clutches from like May to all the way through December. So it's
Okay.
pretty spread
So,
out.
yeah, which makes it easier to manage, right?
Yeah.
I can imagine getting 89 clutches just at one shot. Got to be
Oh yeah,
madness.
I couldn't even imagine. I mean, there are definitely there's quite a few. Like I'll get like 10 at once. So when hatching times, I'd have to set up 10 clutches all at one time. And,
Right.
that's with my average is around 7 eggs, so 70 babies. Gotta hatch it or gotta set up one
Yeah.
day. So that was definitely a lot of times. But
Did he have everything that you needed? Did he have incubators for you and
oh yeah, I mean we had
hatchling rack?
actually. Yeah, no, I had all that. I also
Okay.
had my own incubators and stuff like my own hatching racks. So
Right. And so the business name was already Morph Jungle.
no, well, mine was, yes. His was obviously
Okay.
GHR Reptiles, but I took everything, under like everything under my own name. So
Okay. Cool. Yeah. How'd you come up with Morph Jungle? What made you decide that?
I created that actually when I was little. Honestly, it was like it's kind of a stupid, I guess, like reason, but I was like, there's a bunch of Python morphs. All right, we're gonna do that one, and I guess reptiles and jungle, so it kind of goes together. So it was pretty honestly that it just came to me,
Yeah.
it made
Yeah.
sense at the time, so I ran with it.
Yeah, that's how it goes, man. I came up with Alluring Serpents. I was sitting there and I was like, okay, well, I want to name it something. And I'm like, well, it just kind of popped in my head. And I was like, oh, Alluring Serpents. And I was like, that means beautiful snakes. So,
Yeah,
yeah, fuck it. I mean, that is what it is.
that's great.
Yeah, yeah. So that's awesome. Let's see. Okay, so you kind of didn't really run into any challenges because you had good guidance
No,
at the
for sure.
beginning.
I mean, definitely, like, I obviously had babies die, certain animals die and stuff like that. But it's like, that's with the collection that size, obviously it's grand to happen, especially with, hatching babies, and there was definitely a few mistakes I made. But, it's
Yeah.
definitely a big learning curve in the beginning for sure.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. What are maybe like two things that somebody that's aspiring to be a business owner in the reptile industry, what are two things that you think they should avoid doing?
Two things I should avoid doing.
Yeah,
I
like
would
what not to do.
definitely like, obviously, like as far as like business order, like breeding in general.
Just industry related, man. Whatever comes to mind.
I mean, I would say definitely as far as like, especially in this state of where we're at right now with the whole market and everything, definitely, think before of your breeding for sure. Like, 'cause that's a big part too. Just doing, A to B or whatever, isn't really like plug and play kind of stuff. Isn't necessarily, I would say, the right direction to go currently.
Yeah,
Like, I would
I
say,
agree with you.
really focus on what you're doing, but at the same time, also focus on what you like to do. But like, as a business standpoint, also, go with what direction the market is going to.
Yeah, yeah. So you
So,
got to be mindful of multiple things. It can't just be, oh, I
yeah,
like bells, so
absolutely.
I'm just going to make bells.
Exactly. I mean, but I'm sure that's a different question there. But obviously, they all have their categories. Like a bells, I would say more so for the pet trade or wholesale market. But as
Right.
far as it's obviously a little bit different because obviously there's different markets in this industry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there's levels to this shit, bro.
there's a lot, There's a lot more than most people really think there is, especially if you're doing it full time.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a second. But like, so your first year, you got damn near 100 clutches, man. What did you do with all those babies? What was your strategy to get rid of
Um,
the animals that you weren't holding back?
Honestly, I mean, I did a lot of MorphMarket. MorphMarket has always been great with me, and I'll always stand by MorphMarket. I created my account in 2015, so I've been around there for a lot. Um, you know, I would say in 2020 I didn't really do as many shows as I do now, but shows were always good for me. Obviously, the market in 2020 was also a lot different than it normally is too.
Right.
Everyone had the
Yeah.
stimulus money. People were buying stuff left and right. So selling stuff wasn't necessarily that hard. Just more so,
Yeah.
the big hardest part of it was obviously advertising a good product, pictures and all that stuff too.
So
So
that's so like when people first came in
mhm.
during COVID, there was a big boom, like
There
you said,
was
right? So snakes are flying off the shelf. Everybody's throwing money around. The people that had just got in at that time, I think they almost had unrealistic expectations. Like that's just how the market is,
absolutely, that's what a lot of
right?
people, I think. Yeah, exactly. That's, I think, something we're starting to see now because we see it. I'm sure you keep as on social media as much as I do. I see people kind of freaking out a little bit with the way the market's going, but it's like realistically, it's just more so. I would say I wouldn't like people say the market's dead. That's not necessarily true. It's just coming back to what it used to be. Because
Right.
back in the day, because like I said, I mean, obviously I did this as a hobby, but I still producing 20 clutches. Obviously, you're still selling animals. So wasn't just crazy. Everything sells immediately. Like you actually had to work for it.
Yeah.
Advertising and stuff like that, do shows, get your name out there, get exposure, and take good pictures, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's just, I think people, like you said, people set a really unrealistic expectation of what this is.
Right. So technically, it's not really even a recession. It's more of a correction.
Yeah, I would say so. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like it got inflated for a minute and then it came back down to earth and
Sure.
it's like, okay, let's be normal now. Yeah.
A lot of people say, free money ain't free.
Yeah. Yeah. Big facts. So what different methods do you have for selling reptiles? Like I know you got MorphMarket.
I do.
Um,
I honestly, I saw a lot through Instagram. I'll be honest. A lot of people will DM me. It's and so be like, hey, I'm looking for whatever, and I'll be like, send them what I have, and if not, obviously I'll refer them to somebody else.
yep.
I used to sell back when Facebook didn't because I used to sell a lot through Facebook, but Facebook I feel like cracks down a lot more on animal sales than they
Mhm.
used to in the past. And trying to think.
Yeah, they're deleting people's accounts left and right,
Yeah,
dude.
no, that's why I used to, back in the day, I used to post I would post whole lists on, with prices and everything on Facebook, but like nowadays you can't really do that anymore.
Yeah, everything is like real secretive.
Yeah, back
We're in the
go ahead.
underground market.
Yeah, literally. Obviously, shows and stuff are good too. I do a lot of local shows. Um,
Yeah, I see you at a lot of shows, dude. How many
yeah,
shows you do in a year?
I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I mean, I definitely do. I do obviously Tinley now. I do Daytona. I might do Arlington. I haven't decided. And I think I definitely want to go to Arlington. I just just to experience it at least. I do
Yeah.
obviously Orlando Repticon. I do actually doing Pembroke Pines next weekend.
Nice. So
Um,
if you're down in South Florida, go
yeah,
check out Justin's booth at Pembroke Pines Repticon. What date is it?
it's the 24th and 25th, I think.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah. So if you want to see Justin in person, go down there and check him out. Um, so what do you say? Like maybe a dozen a year?
Yeah, probably around there. I
How do
try
you
to do
feel about?
one a month if I can.
Yeah, that's phenomenal, man. So like when you started doing shows, you know, you wanted to present your business in a certain way, right? Uh, so what does that kind of look like with you setting up your, what you want your displays to look like? Like, did you just want to go balls to the wall and make it decked out? Because yo, not gonna lie, man, like your setup is like really dope, man. I can
I
see that
appreciate
shit
it.
from a mile away, and you just got rows of animals like
It
surrounding
used to
you.
not always be like that though, but it's like that. Excuse me. That was definitely something that took me time to build and understand, and like obviously I took inspiration from other people, big names in the industry as well. Um, but I think back in the day, I used to have like a simple banner. It's like we made the logo ourselves and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So, it had like you could tell it was completely photoshopped. I think my dad printed it on like some because my dad's big in the marine system, like marine like boats and stuff like that. So he, letters for decals for boats and stuff. So he kind of
yeah,
kind of printed like that. So it didn't look necessarily the most professional, but
right.
over time, I actually contacted a guy in Italy, got my logo made. So I wanted to, do it professional because I thought it looked nicer. And then I actually got those roll up banners.
Yep.
That's why I had those at first. And then I, saw people with the big banner, which I have now. I think it's like 8 by 8 feet or however big it is. And those ones really stand out because that's the one you could see that from across the room.
Hell yeah, I was just gonna say that. You can see that as
Yeah,
soon as you walk in, it's over there. Morph jungle.
exactly. So like I got one of those, um, and if anyone wants to get one of those, the company I use for that is called Zulu Marketing and Printing. It's actually not that bad. It's pretty affordable. It's all aluminum construction, so it's actually really really nice. The banners are really good
Nice.
quality.
Nice.
And then I got the tablecloths too, which obviously was my logo on them. And I think I just wanted everything to match. And actually now I got to order a couple more ARS displays, but I want everything to be all my displays to be black.
Yep.
So like, I just want everything to look sleek and professional, and you
Nice,
know
man. So at the end of the day, it's not about having everything perfect the first go around. It's about
no,
growth
no,
and,
God,
and
absolutely not. I mean,
yeah,
this was over years. I mean, we're talking probably over 6 years of me, trial and error and changing things. Like you don't have to go in, no one's expecting you to just have everything perfect and day one. Like that's just not reasonable.
yeah,
It's
yeah, man. And a lot of people put pressure on themselves to be,
absolutely
perfect. Like even before I started this podcast, I was like, oh, I want everything to be perfect, right? And it's just not realistic. And most people don't even get started because they can't fathom it not being perfect, right?
exactly. I mean, my
Because
biggest thing I would say is let the animals speak for themselves.
yeah,
It's like that's the
most
biggest
definitely.
thing.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the animals too, man. But so you vend big shows and you vend more local, smaller shows. What are some things that what are some differences between the two that you could point out that
There's
maybe you
definitely
like or
quite a
don't
few.
like?
Obviously, the big shows are night and day different compared to the small shows. The big shows, like tens of thousands of people. You know, they're obviously the big shows are obviously farther, but it's worth it. Sales are definitely as a business perspective, the costs involved with the show are much higher, but the profit is also much higher as well because obviously sales are better. The
Right.
local shows for me, it probably costs me maybe. I mean, if I'm doing Orlando and stuff, it probably costs me around $600 to do the show. Obviously Pembroke Pines, realistically, it's maybe because I usually get the whole end cap, so I think it's like 250 for an end cap. Um, maybe that whole show with fuel and everything is like 300, but like Tinley, that's probably like a $2,500 cost. So
Right.
you
Yeah,
got you
because you
got to
gotta drive all your stuff up there.
But overall, I would say obviously the bigger shows are, they cost more because they're, the money is put in advertisement and stuff like that. Whereas the smaller shows they cost less, but they're not putting as much money in advertisement, and thus it shows with the amount of people that show up.
How far do you go for smaller shows? Like I know you do local stuff around here, South Florida, but like how far would you go for like a smaller show?
Like I think the farthest I've gone is like Tampa, Orlando. So it's really not that.
Okay.
Maybe I think from my house it's like 3 hours for Tampa, and like 2.5 for Orlando. So it's not too bad.
Yeah. So you keep it in Florida. I mean, we
Yeah,
got
yeah,
fucking tons of shows here, bro. Like Florida
yeah.
is the show capital for reptiles. It's
No, for
crazy.
sure. I might do
Yeah.
that Reptilian Nation show in Atlanta. I think I signed up for that. So that would be my first Georgia show. So
Nice.
I've
That's
never
awesome.
done it before. So it should be interesting how that goes.
Have you been there and checked it out, or are you just kind of like
No, no,
going in
I've never
blind?
been. So this will be brand new for me. So
Oh man, you're gonna kill
I've
me,
heard
bro.
good things about it though.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, right. I think that one's like 9 hours or 10 hours, something like that.
Yeah. So when we talked the other day, we you talked about exporting animals,
I did.
right? And like, let's talk a little bit about that because I feel like not too many people do that, right? So where, like, what are some locations that you sell snakes to? Like, what
So
countries?
I've done a lot of like Asian, a lot of Asian countries. I've done Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, Thailand, Indonesia, and I'm sure I'm forgetting one, but all around like that area is what I've done. So
Yeah.
obviously the process of going through that is significantly different than it is, shipping a snake to, let's say, Texas. That's Texas. Shipping a snake within the United States, it's simply just you go to your shipping company, print a label, ship it out, that day, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
For overseas, though, there's CITES documents involved, and you have to get a lot of paperwork involved, and you have to have. I personally don't, I don't have a master CITES, so I use a broker. I have a few brokers, but I use a broker who does have a master CITES, and basically I ship through them,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
it's. But I guess the only downside to it is that it takes a long time.
Do you mean
It's
like the animal on the ground and not in someone's hands?
Yes, like there was actually recently I waited, which I'll probably not do again, but I waited an entire year before I was able to ship the animals out. So that
I'm
was
sorry.
definitely
One more
I
time. How
I
long?
waited, I waited a year.
A
So
year.
that a full year from February. It was February to February. I waited. It was.
Damn.
I mean,
Holy sh-
that's not typical though. I mean, most of the time it's like a few months. Like sometimes if because there's certain obviously every buyer is different. If it's he was a newer guy, so he didn't really have his paperwork in place. So I think that was the biggest issue. The more
Right.
experienced guys over there, they're pretty good with the paperwork. So it's usually you're maybe waiting a month or two because
Right.
they'll order in certain times. So they're like, all right, this is going to be my shipping date. So I'll order a month or two ahead of time to reserve everything.
Yeah.
But
Now, is there like, is it? Can you do it at any time throughout the year, or is there specific times like quarterly, like a shipment goes out or something
I
like
think
that?
there's specific times because I have like
Okay.
for instance I have a shipment going out right now. It actually got delayed twice, but it's set for July,
Okay.
and this
Yeah.
one's going I think to Thailand. I think it is. So
Oh man, yeah, that's awesome, man. Fucking customers across the globe, right?
yeah,
Um,
right.
so the paperwork. So let me understand it better, right? Because I've never done this before. So the paperwork has to be done on our end, which typically you have a broker that does all that for you, right?
Sure, I do.
Um,
Yes,
and the paperwork also has to be done on their end to receive
correct.
it.
Yeah, all the
Okay.
CITES, because I'm sorry, every country is different, so they have certain laws, certain expectations, certain things that have to be done.
Right.
So that's what obviously takes there's permitting and stuff like that. So that's where really the time is coming from.
So, so the furthest I've ever shipped an animal was from here to California, right? I'm in Florida too, guys, if you don't know. And it was like 120 bucks to ship
Yeah,
one like baby ball python. I was like, holy shit! It cost more than the snake, right? But the lady was like, yeah, I don't care, I want it from you. So I was like, yo, salute, appreciate that, right? Love and dedication. What is the damage on shipping animals across seas? Like,
so
is it
that's
the same
actually
price
something.
for one, or is it the same price for 10?
Honest, that is actually information I don't know really necessarily the answer to because my broker pretty much handles all that information. Like they don't pay me for shipping; they pay him, or they pay him. But I think I remember correctly because he one of them showed me like an email or something because there was an issue. I think I want to say one shipment it was probably like 50 animals. I think it was close to like $2,000 just to ship them.
Oh
So I mean, it definitely
shit.
gets expensive for sure.
Yeah, so if you're going to be doing that kind of stuff, you definitely want to have like
Well,
a bulk.
that's why I try exactly. That's why I try to tell it because I have people. I probably have people from over there message me, maybe every other day. I get messages through whether it's Facebook and Instagram, whatever through social media. But then I've explained to them is like you want let's say like it's a $200 snake, but the problem is it's probably going to cost $500 to $1,000 to ship that one snake over to you. So it's like it's almost for them. I try to explain it's like it's not necessarily really worth it. You know.
Yeah, make it make sense, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, All right, so that's actually really interesting, and thank God it doesn't come out of your pocket, right? It comes out of the buyer's pocket. Um, how did you come across customers in Japan and Taiwan and like all these places? How did they find you?
This is actually all through social. Well, it all originated pretty much all through social media. Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that. But lately, I've actually had quite a few guys from MorphMarket actually contact me as well. So MorphMarket has definitely over the years grown to like a completely global thing, which is really cool.
No, that is really cool, man. So your first time getting a message from somebody overseas, did you feel like, what is this scammer stuff?
Yeah, exactly. It's like the old back in the day, the Nigerian prince kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, man, send me $2,000. I'll send you back 10.
Exactly.
But with animals, yeah. So that's interesting, man. Were you nervous your first time doing it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think because my first shipment over there was like 70 animals. So it's
Oh,
like, I've never, handled anything like that before. So I was like, this is a lot, this is a lot of, obviously more animals or there's more liability. But, fortunately the brokers I do, they've been doing this for years, so they ship thousands of animals a year. So they're very, very experienced in this kind of stuff. So they made
yeah,
everything.
and they kind of guide you through the process.
Yeah, exactly. They basically, I'd call them on the phone and be like, hey, tell me what to do. And they tell me everything. And, it's a really, really smooth process.
Oh, that's cool, man. So do they help you with like receiving your finances or just for the shipping stuff? So
Just the shipping
anybody
stuff.
who's like just the shipping stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And the paperwork,
anybody
like,
who's considering shipping animals across seas, how do they protect themselves? Like what methods did you do to receive payment that they couldn't reverse on you or
so
um
I do mandatory bank wire transfers.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
once
And
then
then
obviously, payments got to clear in full and everything, no issues, no worries. I get a receipt. I also get a receipt of them sending the transfer itself. So that way I'm
okay.
protected because most of these shipments, I mean, it's tens of thousands of dollars at stake, obviously, because obviously
Yeah,
in terms
yeah.
of shipping, it's going to be a big order.
Yeah.
So
Okay, cool, man. Yeah, I didn't know exactly how that worked, man. So I'm glad you shared that with us.
yeah,
Anybody who's looking to do that, just make sure bank transfers, wires. That's the way to go. Don't do PayPal.
definitely protect yourself. Yeah, I have had some try to do PayPal. I'm like, I can't do. There's no way because
No.
especially I being a business, I also can't. Like I think it was a recent change, but I used to be able to accept friends and family,
Yeah.
but now I can't because I guess PayPal changed their policy. So because mine's related as a business account, I can't accept that anymore. So especially
Mhm.
when they wanted to send it that way, I was like, there's no way.
No, they're gonna take a huge chunk out of that.
They could ease and that not only that, but they could also with PayPal, PayPal will usually always sides with the buyer. So if they were
Yes.
to make call a PayPal and be like, hey, actually I never received these, they'd be like, okay, and they obviously give them the money back.
Yep.
Which
Right
is
away, man. And they they don't even want to hear the seller's point of view.
exactly.
Yeah. So they're definitely buyer friendly and seller mean. Um. So have you ever had any like animals, um, pass away in that process of getting it there?
I actually have, but it wasn't. I think this was last year. Um, it went. This one went to Indonesia, but it went from my broker to Indonesia perfectly fine, no issues. And I guess the guy in Indonesia, I guess he sold some of the animals to like other people, and I guess when he shipping it, to the his customer, the animal ended up dying because of the heat because it's very, very hot. I think this was summertime, so I couldn't even imagine how hot it gets over there.
Right. Yeah. And if they're not experienced with it, they don't know. Put a cool pack in there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Obviously,
So
in that instance, I was obviously not liable for anything because, at the end of the day, it already left my hands, went to my broker, and then went to that guy's hands. So obviously, I wasn't liable. But I did actually
yeah.
have someone message me, telling me about that. And so they, were like, hey, when you make another one, let me know, kind of thing.
Oh,
So,
okay. They weren't like, hey, man, this died because of my bad practices. Can you replace it?
yeah, no, I mean, they're really, really cool. And most of them are really cool to deal with. So they're really understanding, like, hey, it's not your fault, obviously. But, I want another one if you make one. So.
Yeah, got you. Here's a question about that actually. How do you pack them in shipping? Like, do they go in a crate?
So I don't know exactly how my broker ships them, but I ship because I use my biggest broker is actually Michael Cole. He's in here. I think he lives like near Tampa. So I just ship
Okay.
it to him. Usually, like I'll use like for the big quantities, I'll use like a 30 by 16. I think by 10 is like the biggest, the biggest box you can buy. On like because I use Reptiles to you, but all those major companies carry all the same boxes. But
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just
So
ship it to you.
are you using bags or are you using deli
Well,
cups?
I'm using bags, but I think most of those guys, I think they transfer them to deli cups. But I'm pretty sure they use very similar boxes too, though.
Oh,
I
okay.
think they use those big boxes because I've seen a lot of like pictures from because I some of the customers that I have they, they'll send me pictures of the box itself, but I've also seen from some of the customers that Justin Gomolka ships to, they've posted the same looking boxes. I think they ship them in those boxes itself, but they just package them differently.
Okay, so everyone's kind of on the same page.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's for some reason they like deli cups because maybe I'm guessing. I mean, my theory on that, I'm guessing because I'm sure it has to go through customs at some point. They
Right.
probably put it in a deli cup so it's easier to look through. At least I would
Yeah, easy
imagine.
to see the animal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Make sure there's nothing illegal crossing the lines and all that
exactly,
stuff. Yeah.
exactly.
Are you putting do you put heat tape uh in those boxes or do they do that for you?
I, well, I'm not sure exactly what they do with that. To be honest,
Oh, okay.
uh,
Yeah.
but like I ship it into my broker like as if any normal snake.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
But I
gotcha.
do know that sometimes I believe it's a lot longer than it normally would be. Like I believe it's not necessarily priority overnight to get to the
Oh,
customer. Like I believe sometimes it's like 2 days. I think.
okay. Gotcha, man. Yeah, I don't know too much about that stuff, man, but eventually I'm sure I will, and it's
I
also
just know
never sharing
sometimes
that.
they're like, hey, they message me like, I got the animals. I'm just like, all right, great,
Yeah, yeah.
everything's
Yeah,
good,
if they're
everything's safe,
safe,
everything's
everything
healthy.
is good, right?
That's it.
Yeah, and that's cool that you personally haven't had any experiences where it was in transit from you to the purchaser and something go wrong. It was actually after the purchaser actually got them
Yeah,
and it was his own
I'm
deal.
definitely
So
fortunate with that for sure.
yeah, so that's cool, man. That means you're working with good people, right?
I will say, knock on wood here, I've shipped probably thousands and thousands of animals over the years. I've never had an animal arrive DOA ever. So I can
Really?
take a little pride in that.
Yeah, no, that's phenomenal, man. I haven't had a DOA myself, but what I have had was it was a smaller box because it was a hatchling, and she got the snake and she sent me pictures and the whole box, dude, destroyed.
Really?
Yeah, it was almost like ripped apart. Like if that thing was not in a bag, it could have slithered out of it. That's how crazy it was damaged. But that was the only time. And I do stress out. I stress out when I ship animals.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, I've
especially
had
the
delays, like delays, obviously are common. They happen. You can't, not everything's going to be perfect, but
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's why I love, I personally use Reptiles to you because, I like her customer service and I like the way she handles everything. As soon as there's a delay, she immediately either calls me or texts me like, hey, this is delayed. I'm already working on it. Nothing to worry about. I'll let you know when it arrives. And it usually arrives sometimes that day, sometimes the first thing the next morning. And there's usually never any issues.
yeah. Good
So,
customer service definitely gives you peace of mind, bro.
absolutely.
Um, so Johnny has a question here, but we're gonna kind of work that into the next little part of this. He asks, Justin, do you have any snakes from other countries or working any dinker projects? So before we answer that question,
Okay.
you started off with about 400 and something after you merged, right? And what's your collection up to now?
So I did sell a lot of stuff. There's certain things, I just feel like, I either had duplicates of them. Like, for example, I think at the time I had like 6 pastel GHI breeder females. Like, I don't need 6. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like there's certain things I sold. So I think, but now I'm probably around like 500, I would say.
Okay, cool. Is
Total
that
like with all,
holdbacks?
yeah, with
Yeah.
everything. But I
Okay,
think like
cool.
breeders, I'm probably around 200, 225. But
Very cool,
actually, I
man.
just sold a couple animals as well. I'm going through my breeders right now currently because I don't want to be like I like the number where I'm at. I like the 80 to 90 clutches. I like that number. It's manageable because I do everything myself. So I
Right.
like it's pretty manageable. So there's definitely certain things I'm going through. Like I would say like max. I like sticking around that 500 number.
Okay, so are you like so have you reached the point where like every year you're getting rid of breeder females to be replaced by holdbacks that have reached the
Yeah,
age that they can breed?
exactly,
Yeah, so you got like a smooth system, like just rotating
exactly.
animals. Cool, man.
Which
Yo,
well, the only
500.
part, yeah, the only part that's it might bump my number up to past 500 is because I'm doing a lot of triple het, a lot of double het stuff projects. So obviously I got to keep all that. So can hit the odds, and I got to keep like 10 of everything. So
Yes, I was just talking to Pat from Dragon Soul about that. Like, I have a very small collection, man. I'm like under 40, right? Um, but a lot of my pairings are gonna be triples and quads and doubles and all this stuff. And my little 40 is gonna turn to 300 like real quick. Is how I
exactly, it
feel.
gets real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Problem
So
is,
go ahead.
as I'm saying, like you're playing the odds at that point, especially like if you don't have a double visual male or a visual het. I mean, it doesn't necessarily male, but on either side, you're doing like double het to double het, triple het to triple het. Those odds suck.
Yeah, hell yeah, they suck, bro. You got pause everything, right? You gotta start genetic testing. So luckily for me, I got my double visual Exanthic Clown Boy, and he's gonna be going
All
to
that.
all visual females, and those are gonna just be all 100% triple hets. And then after that's where the madness comes in, right? Because then you hit the Exanthic Clown DGs would be the best case scenario, and then you get the DG Clown Pos Head Exanthic, and then the Pos Head Clowns, and the Pos Head DG, and it's just like a fucking mess.
Yeah, no,
But I'm excited for that mess, man.
no, it's definitely a very cool project. I mean, there's so much potential with that project alone. I mean, I think we're only seeing the surface of that. So
Yeah, I agree, man. And I like everything black and white. Yo, shout out Bomb Projects. That black and white hat. This is like the most colorful I get. But so what recessives? Like, how many recessives are you working?
So I do. Obviously, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people follow me know I do a lot with Sunset. That's kind of one of my biggest projects. But I do have. I mean, I have a little bit of everything. I do a lot of hypo stuff because I try to coordinate, I guess, GHI with everything. I mean, I love doing that.
Yeah, as you should. I mean, it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of GHI hypo stuff, so I really like that. Working obviously, double. I mean, obviously I'm working, all these recessives together, but I probably have Sunset, hypo, Pied, Clown. I just got into Puzzle recently.
Nice,
obviously, I have DG, of course.
Yep.
Trying to think what else.
You got
I'm
G-Stripe,
thinking
you
about
got Live.
I don't have any lab. I don't have any G stripe stuff. I mean, well, I like a little bit of lab, but not like a whole lot.
Okay.
I just got out actually like Candy and albino stuff. I just got out of that because just trying to dwindle things down a little bit. Keep it so it's like more manageable. I'm thinking about getting Monsoon. I think I like that project.
Yeah, that's that shit we do like around here. Yeah, did you see the Mandarin Monsoon from TJ at 240?
I don't think I saw that.
Dude, I'll send it to you like after the show later today.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing is
probably bright orange, I'd imagine.
Yes, bright orange, but there's a lot of contrast between the crazy monsoon pattern and the orange that comes out from behind it.
Yeah.
It's amazing, bro. So yeah. What do you want to do with the monsoon project? What are you thinking?
So, well, for me, I think that's definitely a project that needs to go with color because the problem is the pattern of. Then again, like I said, hasn't been a whole lot done with it, so we don't really know. But in my opinion, I feel like monsoon's probably gonna be so overpowering that if you just focus on pattern stuff, it's not really gonna turn out the way you want it to. So I feel like definitely color is definitely the way to go with that. So obviously, DG. DG Monsoon, Hypo Monsoon, DG Hypo Monsoon. Obviously,
Yes.
PPI DG Monsoon. I think that'd be really cool.
I agree with you, bro. Actually, my heart's like dead set on making one of those one day.
No, that'd be insane. That crazy monsoon pattern with those just pure black and white. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, exactly, man. So that's exciting news, man. What's your favorite like maybe triple project that you're working on right now?
I'm not like triple. I'll admit I'm a little behind on the triple stuff, but I'm definitely working on a lot of the double stuff with incorporating Sunset into it. So this year I actually have shots of hopefully hitting Sunset DGs stuff. So
Nice.
I definitely want to get that into the Clown and then get that into because I like the Sunset Ghost. I like where that project's going. So I feel like the Sunset DG Ghost I think would look good.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, man, some people are not fans of the DG Sunset, right? And
No,
I'm like, I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? That thing is beautiful because typically the sunset, you don't get the contrast between the alien heads and like the dorsal pattern and the flaming, right? With the DG involved in it, you actually get that separation. So
Yeah.
now, it's not just mudding away; it's defined, right? So now it has max potential. You could throw pattern mutations in there. You could throw color mutations in there, and it's not gonna. I don't, in my personal opinion, I don't think
Hmm.
it's gonna mud out. I think you're gonna have
No.
that definition. What do you think?
Well, that's the thing is that a lot of people, a lot of people, I guess, that don't like sunset. The problem with it is that they say, "Oh, it browns out."
Right.
Obviously, DG, that's not going to happen. And
Yeah.
the problem is we've only seen one DG sunset, like no other codons added. Now imagine if you get yellow belly in there. Imagine you get Enchi in there. Orange dream, all these highlighter genes. I think it's really gonna take it to the next level. I really do.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, man, and I agree with you. We're it's not even scratching the surface yet. We're just rubbing the surface, right? Miguel
Exactly.
showed us a puzzle piece that we could use to make it
Exactly.
something phenomenal. Yeah. So
I agree.
so Sunset DG clowns. That's gonna be interesting. Yeah.
Very
And you
interesting.
said you're gonna be able to make the Sunset DG this year.
Yes, I have. Um, well, probably I got when I made the double heads, I got like if odds were not my favor. I think I got like four males and like two females. So
Oh,
obviously,
okay.
kind of got screwed there. But both of the girls, I mean, I think I just ultrasounded them like a month ago. Actually, I need to ultrasound them again. They're both like high 20s, so we'll see. Hopefully,
Dude, congrats, man! Just on the opportunity to hit that stuff,
and,
dude.
and
I hope the
obviously,
odd guys are definitely in your favor.
I'm gonna get my little twists in there. So obviously, man, I'm gonna could potentially make super GHI and GHI DG subsets. So
Oh, that's gonna be interesting to have the
yeah,
GHI
definitely
playing
going a
around in the
different,
alien heads.
definitely going a different route is with the darkness. It's like obviously
Yeah,
it's a different route that most people would go, but that's what makes it exciting. Like doing stuff differently. That's what I love to do.
yeah. There's a creative aspect that I feel like a lot of people don't harness, and they're just kind of trying to duplicate what everyone else is doing. But when you start playing around and the creativity's coming and the imagination of what could possibly be with this and that, it's next
Exactly.
level fun, man.
No, I mean I love the GHI sunset stuff. It looks really really good. I mean I have quite a few of them now, so I definitely think it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna look different than what most people would expect.
Nice, man. Well, yeah,
So
I'm excited to see that, man. You definitely have good examples of sunset. I have seen some where they're just like, meh, and then I've seen some at your table where I'm like, damn, that's fucking
yeah, for
beautiful.
stuff like for mine, it seems like they're really really high orange, really really bright. And like my actually I just sold the adult male, but he was a really really good looking male, really high orange, real bright, didn't really brown out or anything. And even my adult females they look really good as adults.
Damn,
So
that's awesome, man. Where's Justin's cap? I'm so confused.
gotta switch it up sometimes, right?
Yo, Miguel, what up, man? He came in proper, bro. Look at my boy looking clean.
Hey, trying.
Yeah, that's what's going on. All right, so let's see what else we got going on here. So, how many clutches are you expecting this year? Is it 80, 90? You said?
I'll probably do. I think because I did a recent round of ultrasounding because I like that's why I usually I do it once a month to really like gauge where I'm at, and I think I'm probably going to be around the 80 mark this year. I think
Okay.
so.
Are you looking to are you having 80 clutches of I want to hold back something from every clutch, or are you producing animals for the tiers of the industry like we talked about?
Definitely, I was doing tiers. I mean, there's certain stuff. Obviously, I'm working with my projects. Doing a lot of. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention. Sunset Ultramel is another one I'm working really big on. I forgot to mention that. But
Nice. Yeah, that's
doing
dope.
so working projects with that. So making combo double hats for all those all my sunset projects. Pi, Clown, DG, Ultramel, etc. So that's definitely a lot of that stuff. I'm definitely going to keep. But there's a lot. I'm also doing a lot of Clown stuff, Clown Pi stuff this year too. So it's like definitely a lot of those clutches. I feel like I'm going to keep some stuff from. But there's also being that I'm starting to do more shows than I have before. There are certain breedings I've done where it's like specifically to sell. Um, and I mean, obviously, it shows in MorphMarket and stuff like that. So there's, I'm definitely like to split it up a little bit.
Yeah, so when you're breeding for shows, your clutch potentials as far as like potential income or revenue from it, are you looking to stay within a certain realm for specific for shows? Like, do you not want to exceed like $500 animals for shows or
I
$1,000
mean,
animals?
yeah, I would say. Well, I would say like 500 under is more so like for me. It's probably more stuff I'd rather just wholesale. But like for show stuff, I would say like 500 to like probably 1,500, 1,000 is like that's like kind of the range I shoot for.
Okay, very cool, man.
Obviously, I mean the low end stuff at the local shows does not do better, but for me, it's just like when it starts to get to that numbers, it's kind of stuff I just rather it's wholesale off.
Right, yeah. I mean, your collection's so big and you're producing so many.
It's a business standpoint. You got to think. You got to wager the cost of producing the animal and the cost of feeding the animal versus is it worth just getting rid of a bunch of animals right now, not having to worry about it. It's because your time at the end of the day, time is money too.
Yeah, big facts.
So, you definitely got to, wager that too. So like, I would say like I do most of my breedings, I would say are for, medium to higher end retail and like probably a very small percentage are for wholesale based.
Okay, cool. So right now, man, looking at the big picture, I mean, you got MorphMarket, you got shows, you got Instagram, you got international sales, and you also have wholesale.
Yes.
So what was that like when you first decided, okay, I want to start wholesaling? Did you already have relationships built with maybe pet stores, or did you have to go out and
I
look
mean,
for them? Or
that one's definitely even today I'm still not necessarily struggling with, but like it's definitely I'm constantly looking for new avenues. So
Mhm.
that's one. It's because the problem is some of the ones I have are not necessarily international, but like far away. I wholesale. So like sometimes if I can find local stuff, that'd be easier because obviously you don't have to worry about the shipping and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
like there is certain individuals who do own like larger chain pet stores who I work with closely with on wholesale and stuff like that.
okay. How does it go? How does it go? How do you go about like establishing a relationship with like a bigger retail store so that you can become a wholesaler for them? Like, what does that look like?
Um,
Like, do you just approach a manager and say, "Hey, who's in charge of
I
animals?"
would say some of these stores it's definitely a little tough. I would say like to get in the door because
Yeah,
like you'll try to like my goal is not. I mean you got to go through the manager, but I want to talk to the owner. That's my goal because the owner is really the one that really makes the real decisions.
right.
So
Yeah,
like there's one store I called. I think I tried to talk to the manager and they weren't really like as helpful. So I was like I finally got my chance to talk to the owner, and then we started to talk. Built that relationship there. So it's definitely for some of the bigger chain stores. It's definitely a little bit harder. But but at the
yeah,
same time, I also like the smaller stores because most of them are the mom and pop ones. They're they are the owners, so they know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. So that's it's really a lot easier, I would say, to build a a nice friendly relationship with them. So
okay, cool. Yeah. So anybody out there looking to wholesale, try those little mom and pop shops first, so that way, it's a little easier for you. You don't have to go like up the freaking chain of command to try to
exactly,
finally reach the person that has the authority to say yes or no, right?
yeah,
Yeah, because at that point, it's almost like trying to get like a product into Walmart, right? Like,
yeah,
good luck.
sure,
Yeah, so that's cool, man. So you got a lot of different avenues of income or uh, revenue coming in,
yeah.
and that definitely leads to a successful business because you're not just sitting on a bunch of animals. And how many did you produce last year?
I did 84 clutches, so I think probably around like the 550 mark, roughly.
550. And how many you got left?
Probably around. I mean, I kept some stuff too, but like it's for
Yeah,
sale. Probably around like I think it's 60 something. No, 50 something because some of the stuff I have on MorphMarket is older that I decided to get rid of. So I think
yeah,
like babies, I think I have like 50. I think.
yeah. So at the end of the day, having all these different avenues is definitely helping you move your animals. If you're out
For
there and
sure.
you're trying to start a business in this industry, it's definitely important to have those different avenues to take because
Absolutely.
last thing you want to do is produce 800 babies or 500 babies, and
Yeah.
then the following season you still have 300 left, and you're like, well, I got another
Yeah.
500 on the way.
Well, good. I mean, I'm sure that's a discussion you're going to bring in, but I'll bring in it now. Is rodents is a big thing with that many animals too. You know, because
Yeah.
rodents.
Speaking of rodents, man, you don't breed your own rodents.
I do not.
Yeah.
So
So
that's definitely one of my biggest costs for sure. So that's one thing that makes me definitely have to weigh out the different, you know, I guess the different breedings per se. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to be like a bunch of animals I'm going to be stuck with either. because obviously as they get bigger, they got to feed them more, feed her bigger meals, and over time, the prices of snakes honestly drop, but the prices of rodents do not.
Correct. Actually, the price of
If
rodents
anything, they
go
go
up.
up.
Yeah.
So I remember pay. I think I used to get hoppers for like I think 80 or like 60 cents back in the day, and now it's double that.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
pretty
So
crazy.
it's getting costly, bro. So because your collection's so big, do you find it difficult to have someone? Do you have multiple rodent producers just in case one maybe can't fulfill the order?
I fortunately have only one. So, and I mean, I've been using them for 3 years, and I mean, have we run into a little bit of issues and shortages sometimes? Yeah, but overall, they've been really good to me. So I've
Oh
definitely
man,
been lucky there.
yeah, what a blessing, bro. What does your feeding schedule look like? Like your adults? Are you doing
I,
the every week? Are you doing every other week?
so all my adults, I feed larger meals. So I feed I'll feed mediums every other week, and then all my babies, all my males, all my sub adults, and holdbacks, I feed every single week. So
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, I used to feed
Yeah,
everything every week, but I found, I mean, everyone has their own opinion, but I have personally found that feeding my adults every 2 weeks a larger meal, I get better clutches than if I were to feed them smaller meals every week. So
interesting, man. So when you say bigger meals, you're doing mediums?
yeah, I'm doing mediums because I mean, from who I get them from, like there's a big difference in the size of the mediums and the smalls. Like the mediums are twice the size, if not a little bit bigger than a single small. So
Yeah, I've gone before I started breeding my own rodents. They definitely were. Everything was on the smaller end. It was almost like
yeah,
weens were pups and smalls were weens and mediums were
exactly,
smalls. And I'm just like, this shit ain't looking right, bro. I got to start doing my own thing. Um,
exactly.
so so how do you feel about? Do you think you'll get to the point where you start breeding your own rodents, or you feel like you're comfortable where you are and it's a smooth system?
I mean, I definitely think once I mean, at the end of the day, every snake breeder's long term goal is to have a property, build a building there, have
Yeah,
everything in one location, and
yeah,
have like
big
a rodent
facts.
barn. So obviously that's the dream. But for me personally, I can't clean them. I think they're disgusting. So I definitely have to hire someone to do that. Like obviously the snake, I clean snakes every single day. I'm there 7 days a week, but the rodents, it's just I can't do it. Because I used to do it back in the day. Back when I had it as a hobby. Having 100 snakes, we used to breed our rodents, and I mean, just dealing with the floods, dealing with them eating each other. This
Oh
ammonia
yeah, man.
smell. I mean, if you didn't clean them, at minimum once a week, that just the smell in there from the ammonia would get so bad.
Yeah, yeah. So prior to breeding them, I would get skeeved out by rats all the time. Since breeding them, I'm still a little skeeved out, but I try to find those cute moments where I look at them like they're little pets, and that
Yeah.
keeps me fucking going, bro. Because if I
Well,
just focus on them,
I think
go.
mine gave me a bad. I guess I put a bad taste in my mouth because mine were always mean as shit. So all my rodents were always so mean. So like, I definitely think that kind of ruined it for me a little bit, for
Yo,
sure.
knock on wood, I have not been bit yet.
I mean, I've been bit a couple times, not necessarily too bad, but the amount of times they've tried to bite me is pretty high.
Yeah, so you just got to get to the point where it makes sense for you financially to, let's say, hire somebody, and it be more cost effective to hire somebody and have them, do your rodents for you than it is for you purchasing them. And also you
Yeah,
need location and all this. There's a lot
yeah,
of factors,
I
but
mean, there's a lot of costs involved. I mean, look as a business side. I mean, not necessarily to get into a different topic, but it is a write off at the end of the day because I have receipts for everything. So that definitely helps, as well too. So
yeah,
that's one of the reasons why I don't necessarily mind it.
yeah.
So
So like what are some goals for Morph Jungle for like the next like 5 years? Like what are some
yep.
things that you're trying to do?
I mean, I will say that in the original um, collection of with GHR builds, there's a lot of codom stuff, and I'm slowly want to replace everything to be minimum. Have recess. Like obviously, I like the codoms, but I want to have basically like duplicates of that animal, but in recessive version.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
What's
definitely a
your
goal.
what's your what's your process going to look like for adding codoms to, like, let's say a double visual? Let's say you got um, an Ultramel Sunset, right? And you want to add some codoms into that. Like in your head, what does that process look like? What's the best avenue besides buying it that and it already has it because maybe it's not found
That's
yet,
well,
right?
that's actually that's not my goal. My goal is actually, which I'm doing this year, is I'm making them myself because I have
Nice.
combo visual sunset males, I have combo visual ultra male females, so I'm making all my own combo double heads for and for other projects I'm working triple heads, I'm doing the same thing. So I'm making my own combo triple and double heads, and I mean I guess it depends on which revenue I want to go because I don't personally like the whole if it's avoidable the whole head to head thing. So I'd almost rather have let's say like a combo double het female, and but go out if I can buy a visual het or even possibly a double visual depending on price
Right.
male, and then make my combo obviously double visual that way or triple visual.
Yeah. So you're putting in the work, man. You're not looking for the easy way out.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, triple het isn't the cheaper option, but it's at the same time, time thing too. It's like
Yeah.
I want to definitely help myself with those odds as many ways as easy as I can, or the best as I can, rather.
Yeah. And
So,
I agree with you, man. That's why my whole base is going to be Xanthic Clown, right?
mhm.
And that's going to go into DG, and then that's going to go into Pied, and that's going to go into Hypo, and then I'm going to have all these triple heads, and then hopefully the goal is to get some triple visuals if the odd gods bless me.
Yeah,
Um, but then getting those triples together to make double visual Xanthic Clowns that are double het for DG Pied or
exactly.
Hypo Genetic Stripe. So there's better odds there, but it's the long road, right?
No,
But
for
it's more
sure.
yeah, it's more gratifying and I get to do it the way I want to do it, I'm
Exactly.
not I'm not settling for like someone else's projects that I'm just okay, well, I guess I can make it work, so let me get that.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, definitely that's why I want to at least give myself a good base to stand on. With all my double and triple heads, make all those females, and then by the time they're ready, I should be set by then with the male. So it's like definitely building a good base with all these double and triple recessive projects. I mean quads. I mean all of them. He's definitely building your base of double het female and triple and etc. Codoms in there
Yeah.
too.
So you already have a huge collection though, so that means you're gonna have a lot of holdbacks, dude. Are you gonna have to expand to a bigger facility, or do you have enough space right now?
Well, actually, at my current warehouse right now, so my current warehouse is actually like I think it's exactly 953 square feet. Um, push come to shove, I do have an entire garage portion that's probably roughly like 300 extra square feet because my facility when the way it's laid out it's like you walk in, there's like a little like room on the right, and then there's a wall, and I have a couch there, I have like a stereo system, incubators, and then on the left I have two rooms. My immediately to the left I have a baby room and sub-adult room.
Okay.
And then the other room is all my adults, my adult males, and then some bigger sub-adults as well. So like if I
So
ever need to, I could build out another room.
right, yeah,
Uh,
you have to get rid
yeah,
of some of the luxurious things, but
yeah, no, for sure. Especially the way everything is right now, it's quite expensive to do all that. But
yeah.
there is an area in the. I mean, I have room for extra baby Rex if I need to get them.
What would you like to have? So let's say you're working a triple het project. What would be the ratio that you would like to have or feel comfortable having where you're like, okay, I don't need any more triples. I have enough.
I want to have. Ideally, I want to have probably 5 of everything. So like 5, double or female wise, of course. I want to
Right.
have like 5. For let's say for Sunset DG, I want to have at least 5 for that project. For you know, Clown Pied Hypo, I want to have like 5 of that. Etc. DG
Right.
Clown 5 of them.
What about the male? You content with 2 or do you want to have a couple extra just in case?
I mean, I'm definitely content with 2, honestly.
Okay.
I've not like I said, knock on wood. I've had luck. I've had really good luck with my males in the past. So, I feel like I doesn't necessarily need more than that. I mean, be honest, with most of my projects, I've done great with 1 male.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
for each project, for 5 females, 1 male, I've done great with that kind of ratios. I mean, you definitely want to have holdbacks, or rather not holdbacks, but backups, just in case for, 'cause you never know what's
Yeah.
going to happen. Anything can
Yeah.
happen. Male could die, he could get sick. He could get impacted peen, and anything could happen. So,
Yeah. I experienced that, man. I was doing did a pod to a genetic stripe and made double heads, and the ratio was 6.4 was the clutch. I got 10 eggs, which was dope. But I had six males, so I'm like, I can't keep all these males, right? So I got rid of four of them, kept two, and like a year and a half, 2 years later, one of the males died on me. So now I'm down to one, and I'm like, thank God I at least kept two, because exact for that exact like
Yeah,
scenario, like what if one doesn't want to eat, or what if one passes
doesn't want to
away,
breed.
doesn't want to fucking breed? Yeah, exactly,
I've
man.
had some males do that too. I've had males, I've had males I've paid quite a bit of money for and just don't do nothing. They just it doesn't matter what I do, doesn't matter what I feed them, all the techniques. They just sit in the corner and they do nothing.
Yeah, dude. I know the
That
feeling. So does
definitely
my boy Brock. My boy Brock knows the feeling. I think Emilio got one of those too.
mhm.
So have you found that in time they will start breeding for you, or
Yeah,
problem
I've
child
had some
always?
males, where actually I had a specific male this year. He actually in the very beginning of the year because I've certain for that project. It's I had certain females that go in the beginning of the year and certain females that go in the end of the year. And in the beginning of the year, he wanted nothing to do with them. So
Hmm.
I've unfortunately he was kind of the. I did have a backup male, but he obviously was not in the backup was not the male I really wanted to use. So, but unfortunately, I was forced to use the backup male on them because their follicles are growing, and if you don't breed them, you're gonna obviously lose out.
Yeah,
But
exactly. It
luckily,
hurts.
probably I would say like I think it ended up being like 10 months later or something like that, or not 10 months, like 9 months later, he ended up finally breeding. So,
Yeah,
but
that's a long 9 months.
the problem is most of the animals I wanted to breed him to, obviously, it was too late. But it
Yeah,
is what it is.
yeah. Next season. There's always next season, right?
Exactly.
So not even thinking about like monetary value. Like, do you have any passion projects where you're just like, man, I just want to fucking make that. That's cool.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's definitely projects I'm working on that like I visually like them. Like I don't really care necessarily what they look like. There's actually one project I really want to do. I just haven't like even started on it, but it's like I really want to see a super GHI hypopod. I think that'd be really cool. But like regardless of cost, regardless of anything, I think that because super GHI hypo stuff, I've always liked it. It's like especially when they age, they become like
Yeah.
almost like purpley. It's like bluish color. So I feel like that in a pod would be really really cool.
Hell yeah, that would be really
So
cool. I love that you love talking about hypo, man. People are sleeping on hypo. If you're out
no,
there and you hate hypo, what are you thinking?
hypo and dark stuff goes very very well together.
Yeah, and it ages beautifully, man.
It
What do you
does.
think is better, age wise? Do you think DG or hypo? What age is better?
Man, I'm gonna get hate for this one. Um, I think it really depends on the combo. I will say because there's
Okay,
certain
that was
like GHI hypos, in my opinion, I think like I have because I have both. I have GHI DGs and I have GHI hypos. I personally think the GHI hypo looks better than the GHI DG, but there's
yeah,
also in the brighter stuff, obviously the DG is gonna exponentially look better than the hypo stuff. So
yeah, for sure, man.
I think definitely for it
That
just
was a
really depends.
really nice way of saying hypo.
Yeah,
No, that's cool, but you're 100% right, man. Every gene has their own attributes, and when you put them together with other genetics, like some work better with others, and that's the beauty of what we do, right? Is you got to find that key that unlocks that amazingness.
absolutely.
You know? Yeah. So Super GHI hypopides, dude.
I
Looking
think that's
for
it's definitely something
have
I'm personally slacking on it, but I think like visually, I think that's a be a very very cool like little side project just to do it.
yeah. No, I think that's awesome, man. I can't wait to see. Has it been made yet? Have you seen one before?
I don't think so. I don't even know if I've seen it. I mean, I'm not on social media all the time, but I've seen super GHI pods. I've actually had people overseas send them to me,
Okay.
um, but I haven't seen like any like with hypo in them. So
No,
I
yeah.
think
And
that
that hypo is just gonna freaking step it up, dude.
yeah,
Yeah, that's exciting, man. Yeah, I'm excited to see those, man. If you guys are excited, make sure you follow Justin on all his social media platforms. What are you on? You're on Instagram and what else?
Instagram, Facebook,
MorphMarket, Facebook.
MorphMarket.
Yeah, you doing all that TikTok stuff?
I started it. I got to like 1,000 followers on it, and then I just couldn't keep up because the problem is like it was hard for me to try to make it different than the because back when I was doing it, reels were really really popular.
Yeah,
So it's like it was
takes
kind of hard
time
for
to make
me.
those.
Yeah, and exactly, it was time consuming, and it was like hard for me to try to figure out to do something different on both platforms.
Yeah. Well, the
So
cool thing about
I
what
think
you
I'm
just
gonna pick it up again, but
the cool thing about what you just told me is that I think it's 1,000 followers on TikTok, and you can start going live.
Really, I didn't even look into it. To be honest,
Yeah, check that
I
out,
didn't even
man.
look into it.
You could go live, and you're not just blasted to your followers, you're blasted to everybody. So that could actually potentially
Yeah,
bring you a lot of new people, a lot of new eyes on you, which is
that's
pretty
true. Because
cool.
I think like Instagram Live, it's more so like follower based. At least I would imagine
Yes,
compared to
I
like
agree.
TikTok. TikTok is like just like the whole for you page and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm by no means a social media guru. So don't take anything I say about social
Yeah,
media to
hey,
heart. Do your own
I just
research.
be doing stuff. So
Yeah. Yo, have you seen that Herp Social yet?
I've heard about it. I haven't had the time to quite look into it yet, but I think
Yeah,
definitely
it's
it's gonna
pretty
be
cool,
something.
man. I jumped on there. I made an account. It's kind of like the best of both worlds with Instagram and Facebook, and then they have a marketplace specifically for animals where you can post your animals, and you don't have to worry about getting banned or deleted or
Yeah,
anything like that. So
I heard there's
they
another
don't
one
have.
now. I think the Morph Darian from MorphMarket they created. It's like Cold Blooded Social or something. I heard something about that, but I didn't look into that one
Yep.
either.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
heard
know.
about that one. I didn't look into it too much just yet. There's so many, bro. It's honestly
Yeah,
like I understand why people hire like social media managers, because doing it all by yourself is it's fucking nuts.
no, it's definitely. I mean, it's in its own. It's like a full time job almost. It's trying to think of new ways to do things differently.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
Without repeating the same thing over and over and over again.
yeah, it's tough to consistently stay creative. Like even with the podcast, starting this, man, there's a lot of you got to make clips from the previous show, then you got to make promo videos for the new show, and then you got to be creative so that it catches attention. I think we got like 8,000 views or something on the promotion for this show, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that
Very
was
cool.
pretty dope. Yo, are there any genetics that you look to stay away from? Like just not for any like obviously like caramel albino and desert.
Yeah, like that stuff. Obviously, definitely.
But is there like a gene that is okay to work with, but like it's just not your flavor? Is there anything that you stay away from?
Um, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's some that just, you know, I'm pretty versatile, so I would say there's not like, at least off the top of my head, not really. I mean, I feel like if I can, because at the same time I like putting my own twist on everything. So if I
Yeah,
can, make anything unique, I think there's potential in everything. It just, if you make it your own in a way.
yeah, yeah. Everything has its own benefits, right?
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Let's see. Shout out to both of y'all. Shout out to both of y'all. Ray sold me my first female, and Justin my first two GHI girls. No doubt, Johnny. Yeah, it's been an awesome friendship ever since, bro. Appreciate you. Um, all right, so let's see what else we got here. Um, are you working any Dinker projects? Just to follow back on to Johnny's question,
Yeah,
are
I
you working
remember
any?
seeing that. I personally do not have any Dinker projects. I definitely think that's a really cool thing. I definitely think it's like I think there's so much potential to be done with them. I just personally don't have any. I
Yeah,
definitely think like I like the like I see where some people are going with them, and I definitely think there's a lot of potential. Like I think God, there's a big one overseas just recently. I can't think of the name of it, but I saw it turned out really, it was like all wacky looking pattern. It was really cool looking. Especially like I
yeah,
see a lot of European guys work a lot with it. They seem like they have a lot of Dinker stuff coming out of there, which is really cool.
yeah, and they're working. I feel like every year is like something new coming out of Europe, dude. Like, did you see that
Yeah,
tornado gene? That tornado,
that
it's a recession,
that's the one I was thinking of. That one.
dude.
That's
How
I couldn't think of the
crazy!
name of it. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Are there any new genes like that you have your eye on that you're looking to get maybe sooner than later?
Um, I mean, not necessarily, because like I try to, I'm trying to manage everything I have currently at the moment. I mean, if there's definitely something I see, and I have but there's an opportunity there, I'm definitely gonna, I'll probably take it. But just
Yeah,
at the moment, I'm trying to, focus on what I have currently. I mean, there's obviously, I'm kind of like focusing on getting the missing puzzle pieces to what I currently already have, so that way, it's
yeah,
still manageable.
yeah,
So
yeah. Makes good sense, man. At the end of the day, you don't want to overwhelm yourself, and you already have freaking 500 snakes, bro. Like
absolutely.
adding a new gene is like it's a big deal.
That's the thing is then I have to get. I mean, it's not just it doesn't become one extra snake at that point. It becomes, you know, for the way I want to do things, it becomes 10 because then it's a whole divided project just for that specific animal. And then all right, especially if it's not recessive, or even if it is recessive, getting other recessives into it, so that 10 now becomes like 40. So
Yes, yes, it happens quick, bro, in a blink of an eye, right?
absolutely.
So, just to circle back, we talked about you having a business partner, but that's no longer the case, right?
It's true. So, as most people don't know, I know a lot of. I mean, there's quite a few people that knew about the business relationship. I think I made an announcement on it back when it happened, but what a lot of people don't know is I actually was fortunate enough to be blessed with the opportunity to buy out my business partner this April. So I'm 100% completely on my own. So it's definitely a great feeling for sure.
Man, hell yeah! Congratulations, bro.
Thank you.
Um, the responsibility hasn't really changed much though, because you said he kind of
No,
almost became a silent partner.
yeah, I mean, definitely as far as like, monetary wise, obviously, he was help because, we split costs of everything. So that was
Oh, okay.
definitely convenient. So now being responsible for everything, as long as, obviously paying him and all of that, it's definitely a little overwhelming at times. But I mean,
Yeah,
I'm definitely getting in my groove. So, and it's,
that's nice,
I
man.
love it. So it's like,
Yeah,
everything's mine. And it's like, it's definitely a different feeling, I would say, hashing
yeah.
out
There
different
is
parts.
no conversation that needs to happen before something happens.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's,
like back when I buy, when I invest in a new project, I'd be like, I'd have to make a phone call, be like, hey, we should do this. Now I'm just like, if I want it, I'm gonna go get it. So it's kind of,
nice. Yeah.
it's
So there's
pretty
a
cool
lot of freedom that comes with it, but there's also a lot more responsibility.
for sure. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am without him. So, and he's, still always will always be a great friend of mine. So I'm definitely,
That's awesome, man. Yeah,
grateful.
that whole story, man, from your beginning to now, like that's fucking
Yeah.
amazing, dude. You're killing it. And to think that you're only 24,
I
like
know. A lot of people like, especially on MorphMarket, because MorphMarket, you don't really see faces. So like
yeah,
people, a lot of people think I'm a lot older than I am. So it's pretty funny when they find out how old I
yeah.
am.
They're like, hey, kid, who are you?
Yeah, right.
Like, yo, I'm Justin, bro. What are you talking about? More of jungle, baby.
And that's part of the reason why I like doing the shows. I like connecting with people. It's really, I like talking to people one on one, and I've met a lot of great friends, a lot of great people doing shows, and that's why if there's people out there who's kind of scared of doing them, I would say go for it because it's like it's a really good opportunity. It's a really good way to advertise yourself and just get to show people who you really are. So
Yeah, yeah,
stuff like this too.
100%.
Like I'm having a great time. It's my first time being on here, so it's like this is very great opportunity as well. Though.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's awesome to be able to provide you that opportunity to let people know like the man behind Morph Jungle, right? Because people see you and stuff like that, and they see everything that you got going on, but you're just now starting to like branch out and let people really hear you, right? It's
Yeah,
one thing to see you; it's another thing to hear you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no,
I've
it's
always
really
been
cool.
kind of a behind the scenes person besides the shows, but getting out of my comfort zone a little bit, it's a good thing.
Well, yeah, you're
So
fucking killing it right now. You're doing a great job, dude. And you got tons of
appreciate it.
information to share with people, man. And it's awesome that you could take that knowledge and inspire other people to do things maybe outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Show and not buy. Oh, okay. Yeah, we've all done that. Not gone. Wait, yeah, you ever go to a show and not buy anything?
Oh, a lot of shows actually I do that now. It's like but back then I guess I'm very specific now than I used to be. Back then, like I used to have that mentality too. Like I always need something. I would like get like the itching. Like I need to buy something, doesn't matter what it is. But
Yeah,
now I
yeah,
guess I was looking at it from a different perspective. I'm quite selective. So like,
nice.
but I mean, if there's something I find, obviously, if it works with what I want to do, I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna go for it.
yeah. If it
So,
fits into your projects, then it makes
but
sense.
I
Then
will say for Tinley, I don't think. I mean, I've only been 4 times, but I've bought something I think every single time. So for that show, I mean, Tinley's Tinley though, because I mean, I hope you definitely get the chance to experience it because it's just like,
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna try to make it there this year, man. I got a lot of stuff going on. In the few months prior. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. But I'll definitely be at Daytona, and I know a lot of it's going to be heavy
Daytona's a
over
great
there
time.
too.
I love that show.
Yeah, I love it, man. How do you feel about the split room thing?
I was not a happy guy last time, I'll admit, because I was I have my end cap set up in the main room, and I mean, problem is with the guy who puts it on is not communication isn't always the best. So
Okay.
we found out the day of the show, be like, hey, we're diverting traffic for the first hour of the show into the other room, regardless if people want to come into your room or not. They have to wait an hour. So the first room opened an hour beforehand and closed at the same time as we did. So meaning we technically people that paid the same amount of money in the main room had an hour less. We actually technically closed 30 minutes earlier. So technically we had an hour and a half less than the people in the other room. So it just wasn't really fair with all that. Like I think if he does it differently this year, he definitely needs to make it fair where people be like, hey, you can go in this room first, you can go in this room first, doesn't matter. But it needs to be, people should be able to choose.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes good sense, and I agree with you. But you know what? It was his. I think it was his first time doing that, so
You know,
it's
it was
like,
his first time.
yeah, it's like growing pains, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, definitely. I mean, obviously, it's trial and error kind of thing, and obviously, I mean, I saw all the feedback when it happened, and feedback wasn't the best on that. So I definitely think he's changing it this year. I know he's doing VIP this year. I got an email for that.
Yeah, I
So
heard that too, man. That's gonna be cool. So, got to make sure that if you're going to Daytona, you're there Friday morning,
yeah,
right?
Friday.
Yeah, be
So
there Friday,
that's
Saturday,
really
and Sunday.
exciting.
Last
You
year
know,
was
and
my
then,
first year going.
yeah, no, it's
But
cool. I like the location of it. It's right by the beach and all that, so it's a good time to
yes,
hang out.
yeah,
So
and all these snowbirds get to come down here and enjoy
yeah,
the best that
exactly.
Florida has.
Yeah, and then and then we have to go up to Tinley and freeze our ass off. So you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's temporary.
yeah, that's
So,
true.
just a quick question, man, just to be to dig in a little bit. Like, so you've done a lot of shows. Have you always like been in the green at the end of it,
I have,
like after expenses?
yeah, I mean, knock on wood, I've never been negative. I mean, obviously, there's some shows that with everything, there's obviously some shows that are better than others. Obviously, but
Right.
I've never, definitely, I've always profited. I mean, so I've never been negative or anything, but I've always made a profit. It just obviously depends on how much the profit is.
Right.
But
Yeah. So what
but
do
I'm
you
like, I
think?
have the. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Well, so for me, for doing shows, like I have a number in mind. So it's like I have a set goal for me. That's why I guess I determine whether the show, if I'm going to do it again or not. So there's certain shows I've done here, local shows that I personally probably will not do again, because this for me personally the costs and the versus the profits don't really, business standpoint, don't really, it's not enough personally for me.
Right. And
So
the traffic that comes to the
exactly.
show is a big part of that,
Well, that
right?
was the biggest thing too. Is like obviously like for me, like if it's a great show and if it's busy, but like if I don't sell anything, like it doesn't really matter to me because it's the exposure that makes it worth it. I've had
Mhm.
customers I've met at shows, not necessarily spend anything with me, but weeks later end up spending thousands of dollars with me just because of that exposure alone. But when it's a show that's just like no one really shows up to, and the costs are kind of high to do it, and it's far, to me, it's just not really doesn't
Yeah.
the math ain't mathing.
Yeah, the math ain't math, and I like that. So, yo, what are some of your show habits that maybe make you stand out from the dude that's not making sales or is in the red after he leaves and he's complaining? Like, what are some things that you attribute to your success at
I
shows?
mean, I definitely try to talk to everybody I can. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter if you've been doing this for 10 years, if you just started, or even if you don't even have a ball python yet and it's your first time reptile show. I try to I'm there to try to teach people and explain to them the genetics. That's why like I'll people ask me all the time, what makes a pied a pied? Because people love pieds, and especially like people that are new to this. They're like the blotches of pattern with blotches of white to them is it's crazy. They're
Yeah,
beautiful. So
yeah,
explaining why that happens, and then that's why like it shows I like to have a variety of stuff. So let's say for simple terms, let's say I have like a banana pied, a pied, and a banana. It's a good teaching moment for newer people, basically saying, hey, put this gene in this one, you get this outcome. And it's really like I like talking to people, and it's just
yeah.
that's what
It's
honestly
fun.
that's what we're here for, is explain
Yeah,
and spread the knowledge for people. So
and it's fun to explain what we love doing.
it is
Mhm.
fun. And people like that don't understand it or don't know nothing about it. It's mind boggling to them, especially the fact that people can do this for a living and be relatively successful. and live good lives doing just this. Like it's to most people, it's insane.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And then like, once they start getting a little more in depth about learning about it, they start seeing prices of things, and they're like,
Yeah, I get that one a lot too, especially when I'll bring like, because like some shows, like I'll bring just for just for fun, I'll bring like a full display case of sunsets,
yeah,
sunset combos. Obviously, that one's going to be more expensive than like the other ones.
yeah,
So like it causes people also, like, people get that Wi-Fi, but also people, it makes people ask questions too, like why, what makes that price that.
yeah.
So like
So
it's,
it's a tool to
it's
engage.
too. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, that's dope, man. Yo, honestly, now that I think about it, I'm thinking about the Super GHI Xanthic that you had up there, dude. Sick.
That was one too. Everybody loved that snake. I only made two of them last year, but I have an adult female now, and I have an adult male this year. Like, I mean, they're not like, it's realistically, it's nothing crazy, but they're just cool. So like
They
I like stuff like that too. That's another project that I like making them because they're cool.
they're beautiful. Yeah, 100%,
That's
man.
another one I'm working on, by the way. I know, go back to that question about the passion project. I plan on making a Super GHI Xanthic DG. So
Dude,
I have the ingredients. I'm getting there. So
that's gonna be exciting stuff, man. To see that white pop even more than it already did.
exactly. So like that's like something that just I think is gonna be really cool. Like regardless of, even if the price of everything dropped, it's just, to me, it's seeing that hatch out of the egg is gonna be insane. So
Yeah, man. Yo, so with the market like in turbulence because of the people that came in during COVID freaking out, like, how do you handle a market that's like on the downside right now? Like, how do you keep the straight arrow?
I mean, I definitely think, like, you know you have to be realistic. I feel like with, as far as like price goes, is, I mean, like I said, like all the prices, the high prices we see now, they're just, they're inflated, due to COVID and all that stuff. Like, I think all the prices of everything are coming down to a point where they, like, pre-COVID pricing, and that's something you have to reflect on too. Like, just because, let's say, this tank was 2,000, last year, like this, it's not gonna be 2,000 this year. So you gotta work with the market, and you gotta work with the flow of everything too. So that's another
Right.
thing
So
too.
you can't be greedy.
Exactly, and you also got to, biggest thing is, like, like I said, I like making stuff that's cool visually. So like, what people find is cool. You make stuff that's unique, that makes you stand out from other people. Because I mean, I don't know how many people that are in it now, but I'm sure that's tens of thousands. I would imagine now. I mean, look at the amount of, there's 30 something thousand snakes on MorphMarket. You know,
Hmm.
what's gonna say, besides, like, obviously the obvious of, people looking for certain things,
Right.
what's gonna say, like, it makes you stand out compared to other people. And to me, that's just making stuff that's more unique. It's stuff that people don't really normally see every day.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So it's about making that eye candy, but still of value.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to obviously, work with the projects that, breeder wise, that people are working with, but still make it unique too. Because, last thing you want to have is, 15 other examples of the same thing. But, like, for example, I'll bring an example with the GHI Sunset. Um, that was the only one that's ever been for sale. I posted that thing, and I think I sold that within 2 days.
Nice.
And because it's one of those animals that's like unique, it's pretty, and it just kind of stands out from the rest. So it's like one of those. That's what, that's kind of what my goal is, I guess, for the future, is making stuff that's like most people don't necessarily see. So, especially in
Yeah.
this market.
Yeah, that's smart, man. You have to separate yourself from the crowd, and that's a great way to do it. And being realistic about prices and not trying to milk the snake for every dollar you could possibly think of getting from it.
Absolutely. I mean,
Um,
obviously, I mean, my thing is, I like to be fair with everybody. I like to treat people, the same. I like to be as fair as I can with everyone. But obviously, I'm not here to, crash the market either. Because that's not my goal. That's not what I'm going to do. I mean, there's people out there that do that, but it is, you got to, obviously, it's bound to happen, of
no,
course.
yeah, it has to be fair price. I'm not saying, yeah,
Exactly.
definitely don't
No,
want to
I know what you're
freaking
saying.
tank it.
No, of course not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I try to price everything fairly, and be reasonable with everybody. So.
So, yo, who do you go to now for like maybe like guidance or to bounce ideas off of?
I mean, I definitely have, some, my close group of friends that I definitely, talk to on a, daily basis, bounce ideas off of. Um, like my old business partner, he's not necessarily because he hasn't been in it and really, so he doesn't really like know what's going on necessarily with the current market because the current market changes every day. I feel so it's definitely
Yeah,
it's something hard, but it's like there quite a few select individuals that have been really some of my best friends that I'm grateful for that really help me. I can bounce like, hey, should I do this breeding, and they'll be like, oh no, you should do this instead, kind of stuff. So I'm definitely grateful for those kind of people in my life.
yeah, you got to have those people that want to see you win because they'll give
For
you the
sure,
best advice they can.
absolutely.
Yeah, so super important to have that kind of network. Um, so yeah, what do you think is maybe some good advice for? So you're young, right? But you're an
Yeah.
OG, right? You've been in this for a long time, but you're young, right? So that's not typical. You don't see that too often. There's only a handful that I could think of off the top of my head, if that. Um, what would be the best advice that you could give? Maybe somebody who's been in the game for a long time, but maybe they're struggling now in the current times. So like they've been in for a long time, but maybe they're on a rocky road right now. What would be some good advice that you could give them to help them catch up to speed?
I definitely think that people have to adapt with the way society is going. So, like, obviously, technology nowadays, social media is booming. It's much bigger than it was in the past. And I think, there's a lot of people out here that, they're like, oh, I don't like social media. I never used it before, so I'm not going to do it now. It's like one of those things like social media is all about exposure. It's all about, it's basically advertising yourself out there. Like, a lot of these newer people, like just because, some of these older people have been in it for so long, a lot of these newer people don't know who they are because they lack the social media. So I feel like that's really really important in this industry because it's exposure and showing people exactly who you are and what you make and all that is really really important, regardless
Right,
of how
right.
long you've been in it.
Yeah, so like out of sight, out of mind, right? So you got to be consistent and be adapting to the new times.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, So, what did success look like when you first started taking it serious as a business, and what does success look like now in comparison?
um it's definitely, I mean, I feel like I guess success itself is like as a broad term, but being able to like make a living off what I'm doing at the end of the day is
Mhm.
being able to live comfortably, go out to do what I want to do, like. And when I first started, I bought a new truck and stuff like that. So I bought toys. So I definitely spoiled myself a little bit. But being able to do those things, I would say it's definitely completely changed my life for the better, 100%. So
Right. So
it's
at the beginning, it was like take care of yourself and get some toys,
yeah,
which you definitely
yeah,
have some
yeah.
toys,
Which
man.
I mean,
Yeah.
I will say, like I said, that was the young, the young in me, obviously doing that. But now, obviously, I'm starting to be a lot, smarter. I'm starting to, obviously, I've always reinvested though. Like I've always, had a set amount and be like, okay, I've, put that in new projects. So I'm
Right.
constantly buying stuff, constantly, because in this industry, like you have to constantly be evolving, constantly be updating your collection.
Yep. One hundred
So
percent. Do you have a set percentage that you try to reinvest every year? Like,
I mean, not necessarily a percentage. It's just I wouldn't go. I just basically go off, what I really need, and it's just like if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't really look. I
right.
guess look at necessarily percentage, but I guess I look at it as like I want all of my expenses to completely be paid for, no questions, no nothing. If I'll have enough money to do that, and then so I guess a certain percentage of that would be divided to buying new projects. So
Right. Yeah. And keeping that uphill climb going, dude.
yeah.
You're fucking killing it. What are some personal habits of yours that you would attribute to your success? Do you wake up at 5 in the morning? Do you hit the gym every day? Are you reading books?
I'm not that guy. I wake up very late. Not very late, but I'm definitely not a morning person. I would say I probably get up around like 8:39 every day. So it's like compared to most people, it's late as hell. But I'm there every single day. Like doesn't matter what it is, unless I'm on vacation, I'm there every single day, 7 days a week. So it's I'm always checking on things, always looking up what's new. Always making sure everything's okay. So it's always thinking of what's the next step.
Nice.
So
So consistency
yeah, I would say
and vision.
yeah.
Yeah, consistency and vision, man. That's good, bro. Um, so yeah, is there anything that maybe I missed that you'd like to talk about or mention that maybe would help a new aspiring business owner in our industry? Is there anything you can think of?
I mean, I guess the biggest thing is just be yourself, be who you are, and like I think it's like I know I've said it multiple times, but like do your own thing. Like obviously, go with the way the market is going. But the biggest thing for me is doing your own thing, being unique and being different from other people. And I think that's key to being successful in this industry. Is putting out a great product, being a good person. Being obviously because there's some shady stuff in this industry. Unfortunately, a lot of drama. That's one thing. I guess I didn't really touch on that, but drama is a big for me. Is not something I really want to be a part of this drama, and unfortunately this industry is a lot of that, and that's I feel like to be successful in this, like you can steer away from the drama and just focus on the animals themselves and putting out a quality animal, you'll always be successful.
Yeah, 100%, man. I feel like energy wasted on drama is energy that could have been helping you succeed in something you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people that tend to. It's almost like they're like freaking parasites, bro, where they just need to suck the life out of you. It's like energy vampires, right?
No, for sure.
Yeah, but if you want to be successful in this, Justin is saying, stay in your lane and do what you need to do.
Yeah, right? That's it.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you.
Look at some of the greats out here, the best of the best in this industry. You don't really see them commenting on any of this bullshit. So it's got to be them. They're at the top for a reason.
Yeah, 100%. Well, how's that saying go? I think it's like energy flows where attention goes.
That's a good one. I haven't heard that one. But that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. So if you're giving attention to something, the energy's going there, and it could be going somewhere better for yourself. So yeah, real quick. I mean, we pretty much touched up on it, but where can people find you? Where's the best place to contact you? Yeah, those kinds of things.
Yeah, I mean, Instagram's I guess the best for me. So it's obviously for Instagram or Facebook pretty much are the best for me. It's Morph Jungle, but MorphMarket as well. And all my stuff's located. It's all Morph Jungle. So definitely best
cool,
there.
What are the next maybe 5 shows that you're doing so that people could come and check you out?
Obviously I'm doing Pembroke Pines. I'm pretty sure it's next weekend. And then I'm doing Orlando in July. Can't remember the exact date. And obviously Daytona. And I know I'm definitely doing October Tinley.
Nice.
But I think there's I haven't decided yet because I think in September I believe is that Reptile Nation show in Atlanta. But I know it's also Arlington too. So I may do Arlington. I may not. I haven't really decided yet. I've had the opportunity from a friend of mine to get a table for that. I just really decide because I think they're a weekend apart from each other. So that's a lot.
Yeah, that's heavy, bro.
Going from Arlington to then home and then back to Atlanta, it's a lot. So,
do you go to any shows just to hang out, or you only go to shows to make sure?
I mean, I definitely like hanging out, but obviously, if there's an opportunity there for me, obviously bring some animals, to sell animals. I'm obviously going to do it, but
yeah, for sure. All right, cool. Well, yo, listen, Justin, man, this has been amazing. Thank you for being here with me again. I hope I was gentle on your first appearance on a podcast.
It was great. I had a great time.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I look forward to seeing you, as I always do, on the road. Sure. If you guys are not following him already on social media platforms, go check him out and give him a follow. Check out his MorphMarket. You can follow him on MorphMarket too, and when he posts dope animals, you'll be the first one to know. So you should probably go do that. So we're going to get into some giveaways. And then we'll wrap it up.
Alrighty.
Exciting stuff, man. So if you're just tuning in and this is your first time here, we do a little giveaway at the end of the show, and it will be for one of these t-shirts, which I will post up here right now. I do customize it, and it will have your name on it, along with Morph Jungle as episode number 4, which is super dope. Actually, I just sent out a bunch of t-shirts. Yeah, I just sent out a bunch of t-shirts, and people should be getting them today. Hopefully they get it today. It says today on the tracking. But on top of that, is it this way? Or is it this way? I don't even know right now. Justin's going to give $100 credit, store credit, so that you could go check out his MorphMarket and have $100 towards any animal that he has available. Or you can hold on to it and see him at a show, maybe pick up some merch. I don't know. It's whatever you want to do with it, right? And we also have, so we're going to have 3 giveaways. It's going to be the t-shirt, 100 from Justin for store credit, and 100 from another Justin from Stone Age Ball Pythons. So shout out to Justin from Stone Age Ball Pythons. He hit me up and said, "Hey man, I'd like to contribute to the show." So thank you, bro. Really appreciate you. I think that's super awesome of you to want to participate and contribute. Super dope. When we seeing some snakes? Actually, we're gonna see some snakes on here on Friday. So at 8:15 after this show, 8:15 p.m. Eastern time, you could come over to Keys Constrictors YouTube channel, and that's where we do all the snake showing. Justin, are you gonna be able to make that, or
Yeah, I mean, I should be able to. I just gotta, drive over to shop. Hopefully, my biggest thing is hopefully like a service there. As long as I have service, we're good to go. So my
okay,
Wi-Fi is
cool,
a little spotty at the shop, so we'll see. But
yeah, no problems, bro. Gonna be super dope to see some of your cool animals,
yeah,
bro.
it's just some stuff.
Yeah, but yo, don't worry about rushing over there or anything like that. Here on Fridays, we run that all night. So we start at 8:15, and it usually goes to about like 2 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
So you can take your time, get your stuff set up or whatever, and then jump on in, and we'll make sure we hold a slot for you or whatever, and see some of your dope animals.
All righty.
If Dragon Soul, if you're talking about the animals that you have for sale, where all the money that's made from that will be going to U.S. Art, that was at the beginning of the show, and you're late. So you can go back and check that out. Pat from Dragon Soul had a clutch of champagnes, and they're all het clown and they're all females, and you can actually check them out on his MorphMarket. And all the money made from that is going to go straight to U.S. Art. So I think that's super dope, man. And really nice of you to do that, Pat. So salute, big dog. All right. Oh, right there. That was last week's winner. I got my shirt today, so I don't need to enter that one. But I'm going to try for the credits. All right, cool, Mitzi. Yo, you got good luck when it comes to these giveaways. I don't know what you say or do before the giveaways, but I always see you winning cool stuff. All right, so I was doing emojis originally, and I realized that not all Android users have the same emojis as iPhone users. So I feel like that's kind of unfair. So we're going to be doing hashtags. Now, I thought about it today, and I was like, if I write the hashtags, then if somebody's on the computer, they could technically, I think, just copy and paste, which is not fair, right? So I'm going to say the 3 words or the 3 hashtags, and the first 5 people to put that in the chat will be entered into the wheel of names, which you kind of can't see here, but I'll work on that. There we go. And whatever number it lands on, that person will win whatever it is that we're giving away. So let's see. Let's do these are the 3 hashtags right now. So be on your game, okay? Let me go over here real quick. Let me tap in. All right, there we go. Okay, so 3 hashtags. Hashtag Justin, hashtag Morph Jungle, and hashtag US Art. Let's go. First 5. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we could get 5. So hashtag Justin, hashtag Morph Jungle, hashtag US Art. All right, here they come. All right. Justin Morph Jungle US Art. Justin Morph Jungle US Art. Okay, so Kaju, Dylan. Slithery got it. Number 2. You are not first, Pat. Ring Reptiles got one. That's cool. Number 3. Mitzi Ann. I thought you weren't doing the one for the t-shirt. It's all good. And Bailey's. Let's go. All right, guys. So we got our 5 for the t-shirt giveaway. If you were slow to that, don't worry. We got 2 more giveaways for some store credit from Justin at Morph Jungle and Justin from Stone Age. So now I'm going to go here. Let's see. I'm going to blow myself up. I need to figure out how to do this like in a more smooth fashion. I guess growing pains, right? All right, guys. The wheel spin, and this is for the My Favorite Reptile Podcast T-shirt, and the winner is hard to see, but number 4. There it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Get the heck out of here, Mitzi. Mitzi, the winner. Chicken dinner. Listen, and it's okay if you want it because this shirt is gonna say episode 4 Morph Jungle on it. So it's a different T-shirt. Pretty dope. If I win, it goes to Bosa. All right, yo. I didn't say it. You said it. So Bosa, there you go, big dog. Salute. Let me scratch that real quick. Going to Bosa. Nice, man. Yeah, I assume you're gonna be at Pembroke Pines, so I'll just bring it to you if that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So 3 more hashtags. Let's do. This is gonna be for Stone Age ball pythons. $100 credit for Stone Age. Okay, so let's go. His name's Justin too. So let's go. Hashtag Justin, hashtag Stone, and hashtag Age. Hashtag Justin, hashtag Stone, and hashtag Age. Let's go. Yeah, there you go, Bosa. Big dog. It's dope. Yo, more Valley. Fast with it. Valley is number 1. Pressure is number 2. Bailey is number 3. Mitzi number 4. And Greg number 5. Let's go. Ripping reptiles. All right, so this is for $100 credit at Stone Age Ball Pythons. Let me pull up the spin the wheel. Blow myself up again. Number 1. Let's go, more Valley. All right, Ryan. I see you. So Ryan, just make sure you reach out to Justin at Stone Age. I will too, just to verify that you are the winner if he's not here and doesn't see it himself. And now we will run Morph Jungle $100 credit. Oh wait, yeah, okay, yeah. I was trying to think. I was like, wait, the first one, did I say it was the T-shirt? Did I say it was your $100? I don't even know, man. Yeah, it was a T-shirt. Okay. So, yo, Justin, man, you say the 3 hashtags because I don't want to talk anymore.
I mean, we'll just keep it simple. We'll just do Justin again, and I guess we'll do Morph and we'll do Jungle. How about that? Keep it simple. No,
All right.
no, we already do that one. I don't think you did that one, right?
No, we did hashtag Jungle, Morph Jungle, hashtag Justin, and hashtag US Arc.
Okay. Yeah, I guess keep it whatever simple.
Okay. Justin, Morph, and Jungle, guys. Let's go. All right. First one is Slithery. Second one is Bosa. Third is More Valley. Fourth is Pressure. And fifth is Kaju. Dylan, what up? All right, let's run that real quick. Projects. Number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pressure. You are the winner. Let's go. All right, awesome. So yeah, super awesome, man. Yo, thank you for doing that, big dog.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so right there, Pressure Pythons. Reach out to you on Instagram, shoot you a DM.
Yeah, Instagram's easy. I get notifications really quickly. So
All right, sweet deal. So, yo, congratulations to the winners. We got Bosa, Pressure, and Morph Valley. Appreciate you guys very much for being in here. If you entered the giveaways and you weren't fast enough, tune in next week, and we will be running them again, maybe with different prizes. We'll see what happens. But for right now, this is the end. You can catch us over on Hair Down Fridays at 8:15 on Keys Constrictors YouTube channel. So make sure you tap into that. I got to start putting that in the description below. You can also catch Justin's links in the description down below. Justin, dude.
It's been a pleasure. Dude. This is a great time. I had a great time. This is pretty epic for my first podcast. So thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for letting me showcase you, man. You're freaking awesome, bro. And I'm glad people got to see insight into you personally and not just the brand, you know? Do me a favor, hang out for me. Don't disappear. And I'm going to throw this little video up and end it, and I will see you back there, all right?
Alrighty.
Thanks again, bro. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. Justin had a ton of info to share with us, plenty of things for us to learn from. I hope you guys are paying attention, taking down notes, or at least mental logging some of this stuff, because it's definitely here for you guys to succeed in what you want to accomplish. Thank you again, just for all you guys that showed up. Really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing this show mature, and I'll get a little smoother with it and not be so goofy sometimes. So yeah, that's it. Until next time, hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Hair Down Friday tonight, Keys Constrictors YouTube channel. Later. Wait. There it is. All right.